All right, what's up, guys? We are back at it again with another episode of the podcast. I believe we're on eepisode 7, and this is going to be the Odyssey's
Lucky
review.
7.
I am Malachi, one of your co-hosts, and this is Kel.
The other one.
And we're going to be tapping into the Odyssey with you guys today. We just got back from the film. We watched it today, and this is right after the film. I'd say we seen it like an hour ago. It ended like an hour ago, so
Something
we're
like
pretty fresh on our mind at this point. And my God, is this film a banger?
That was good, dude.
Yeah, we're going to start off with a small no spoilers discussion, of course. But
which sucks because I was gonna make a joke, but I'd be a spoiler.
yeah, we'll wait on that. But for now, we're just gonna go over a quick overview of the Odyssey and what we thought about it. What are your thoughts on the film with no spoilers?
Very cool. Very. All right. So, honestly, it's kind of got me thinking. I don't know how to put it. It came with a few things that I just didn't expect it to. For one, I feel like the movie it's pretty subtle, and it kind of brings it in really towards the end, but the movie actually it's obviously historical accuracy is like it's a subject, but it's like, should it really even be, because this is mythology.
Yeah.
But basically I think it really does something interesting with how it portrays these figures here. I guess I won't spoil it, but yeah, I'll just say that it does some interesting things there, and very cool.
Yeah.
Really just, I don't know, it just felt really well done. Like, this is going to sound kind of goofy, but I was actually thinking a lot while watching this. Like, this is the kind of thing that I've been missing out on, just only watching basically superhero movies for so long. This is why, we should spread our horizons. This is why I remember, it was a huge thing. Like, Martin Scorsese kept coming after, Marvel movies for a long time. And it's like, oh, I kind of see why, because stuff like this is kind of artful in a different way. I don't just hate Marvel. Obviously, I don't, because I wouldn't be here doing a podcast that's 90% superhero stuff otherwise. But basically, without the need to be so accessible to everybody, because that's kind of where that stuff winds up going, and where it's kind of wound up going, I feel like you can really get the art into it, and that's what things like this, or just other kind of, how do I put it?
I think this is a very accessible film that does not hold your hand.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
this is. I think we've grown accustomed, just as a society, with the success of Disney, with films holding your hand. This film does not hold your hand.
Really
it expects you to have some prior knowledge, a little bit, to know what's going on.
Definitely does.
It does not. It explains the plot really well, but it only explains it once. It doesn't go back and reiterate things. You have to figure those things out.
Luckily,
you have to use
to
context clues to understand.
Classes.
Yeah, exactly. You have to use the context clues to understand what's going on in the film. You have to know people's names and understand what people are talking about a little bit. Not to the degree where you're going to be lost, but to the degree I think this is actually one of the most accessible Christopher Nolan films, in that he made Inception and Tenet, you know what I mean, which are way less accessible films. But I think it's a little more accessible than say Interstellar. You know what I mean? Interstellar kind of was more sciencey. This is more mythology, of course, but this is a really well done film. It's a very long film, which I didn't expect. I guess I kind of expected. I didn't realize how long it was going to be.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to be
it doesn't
that long.
Feel. It feels like, dude, if this movie was another 30 minutes to an hour long, I wouldn't be mad.
Yeah,
it's good. It's
honestly,
good the whole time.
It feels like it makes pretty much perfect use of its time, actually. And it pulls off some things that generally I just don't think a movie would be able to do.
Yeah.
Things that would probably aggravate me to see a movie even try.
There were a grand total of 0 scenes that I didn't like in this film.
Yeah.
There was a couple of little goofy scenes that Travis Scott felt weird in. But other than that, honestly, Travis Scott serves as a cameo. You know what I mean? He's not like a character in the film that's
I do kind of wonder why, but
I think he just wanted to be in the film, and Christopher Nolan was like, yeah, sure. Maybe he did a birthday party for Christopher Nolan one time, and he just owed him. I don't know. But, yeah. So, anyway, Travis Scott plays the Bard in this film, and, whatever. He's in there. He says a couple words.
Breathtaking role as the Bard.
Yeah. But other than that, dude, this film, beat for beat, is just a banger the whole time. It has you, looking stuff up about Greek mythology afterwards, because the story is told so well. The visuals are done very well. The CGI was phenomenal in this film.
Actually.
It didn't even feel like there was really any
frankly,
CG.
I hardly even noticed it. Yeah.
Aside from the troll guys with the armor, you could kind of tell, but other than that, it looked great. You know what I mean? Even with them, they looked pretty good, but obviously just the way they're moving and stuff, But
the movements.
Yeah, but other than that, man, Oh my goodness!
And I
Every
even
fight
gotta-
scene in this film felt great.
Oh yeah, those are all really well done actually.
It was visceral without being gory, which
Yep.
I appreciated because you can get more butts in seats, especially with a
Mhm.
wider range of audience members. Kids can probably watch this film and not get like scarred for life. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like there's some stuff going on that was a little graphic, but other than that, it wasn't like anything that was like
Mm.
super gory or like anything that was super gross.
Yeah. I'd say
Man,
it's rating. It's-
the story is just done so well.
it
The
is.
way that the story cuts between
Yeah,
times.
I was gonna say because me personally,
Yeah, Nolan
I'm
does that
not
really
a
well.
fan
Yeah.
of doing that in most stories. This I'm just plain. I'm thrown back by how well
Yeah.
this movie
Yeah,
actually
yeah, yeah.
accomplished that.
Yeah.
Like basically, without getting too much into it, they're kind of splitting between. Oh boy, I'm just gonna put it like this. There's multiple kind of focuses on the
Mhm.
story in the present.
Yeah.
And not
Between
only does
Tom Holland's character and Matt Damon's character.
Yep, exactly.
Yep.
And not only does it jump back to the past, but it actually goes to different parts of the past, even being told by different people, and it all just works. It
Yes.
feels like it's all balanced
Yeah.
really well. All of it actually comes through clear and makes sense, and I'm not rolling my eyes when a flashback starts because
Yeah.
like I said, I'm not.
Yeah,
a
it
fan
does.
of
Yeah, it doesn't
flashbacks
break
typically.
up the like pace of the film at all.
No, it
You're
doesn't.
interested
It's
in the
really
things
nice.
that are being flashed back to
Yeah.
because they add context to the things that are happening currently. You
Mhm.
kind of like have Matt Damon's character Odysseus. Obviously, he is kind of like in a stupor and he's kind of remembering the film as it's going,
Yeah.
and so you're getting scenes of like he remembers the beginning and he remembers the middle and he starts kind of and then you kind of get to present day, and then once it gets to present day, it go and you
get
continue
some
his
more
journey from there.
information as to
It's great.
why
Like the
yep.
pacing is done so well. I think it's just shot very well. It's acted very well.
Oh boy, is it?
I would love to see this film in IMAX, but I think the closest theater that's to us in IMAX is like Indiana. So GG's on that.
Yeah.
Not gonna happen.
Not making that trip.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe one day I'll see it in VR. I don't know. But
You get the Odysseus experience. You'll
Yeah,
actually get
yeah.
to you'll get to be on the boat in the
yeah,
storm.
yeah. But like,
Or in
dude,
the
I
horse.
would love to see this film on IMAX. It would just be such
That
an
would be
experience, man.
spectacular.
Just you could just tell with how it's shot and like these wide shots,
yeah, it
man.
was designed for
It
that.
being in IMAX would be even crazier.
Mhm.
But yeah, and all the characters felt very believable.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
no,
saying?
actually, all the characters.
all the
felt pretty
motivations
great,
for all the
actually.
characters felt understandable for sure. Yeah, it was just
It's
done
really
really
well
well.
done
So
stuff.
I think we're gonna go ahead and get into the spoilers now.
Yep, you have been warned.
Yeah, warnings for that, but we're gonna tap in now, and it's gonna be a great episode. We're gonna talk about the review of the Odyssey. So, yeah, see you guys in the spoiler section.
All right, and here we are in the spoiler section. First and most importantly, that joke I mentioned earlier. So on our way back from the theaters, it was funny. I stopped for like gas, and I just thought about the moment in the movie where Odysseus is basically saying, "Oh, we'll just stop over, like grab some food on some islands or something like that. We'll still have enough time to even beat Agamemnon home." And I stopped for gas, and I'm like looking around, because we saw this at I'll just say a theater across from the gas station that is like, I don't know, there's just a lot of dark space around it in several directions. And I like stop and I look and I thought I heard something and I was like, oh, is this going to be the part where I'm like, oh, I have time to stop for gas. I'll get back in time to do the podcast.
Yep.
I might even beat him. And then it's like several stores that I've been chased out of or something later. I get here. I find out he's been killed
Yeah.
by his girlfriend because he wronged her or something. I don't know.
Bro, they are running off of every island on this film.
Oh
bro.
my God. Like that. It's it'd be a running gag if it weren't actually so horrific
Yeah,
and tragic.
yeah.
Like these guys are just getting chased off every island by just the damnedest things,
Yep,
man.
yep.
Like,
Yeah.
oh
it's
man,
bad.
like speaking of like some of the good CGI, that Cyclops, I think that's my favorite visual
I agree.
depiction of a Cyclops
I agree.
just that I've seen.
Yeah.
It honestly, it kind of made me think of like an Elden Ring boss.
Yeah, it was
like
great.
his face. I love it because you normally see Cyclops, they're just a big dude with just one big stupid
yeah,
eye
yeah.
right here.
Yeah.
Where this one, it's like its face is
like
kind of
twisted.
like twisted
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
distorted. So its nose is kind of sideways, and so
Yeah.
the eye in its head is also like straight up sideways. It opens this way instead
Yep.
of this
Yep.
way.
Yep.
And it's just
It's
a
great.
horrifying creature.
Yeah.
Its skin is almost kind of like stonish.
Yeah, it's like grayish blue kind of. Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
And like the kind of the sound of its voice too
Yeah,
is
yeah,
really
yeah.
interesting. It was
I agree.
really
The
nice.
screams were very like.
oh man, those
like,
screams
yeah,
and stuff.
like I don't know. It was like they was just like otherworldly. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It felt like
exactly.
a very alien. But
Yeah.
anyway, let's start at the beginning of the film. Let's
Yep.
not get ahead of ourselves here.
Go
So
for it.
how does the Odyssey start? What do you got? So
Man.
it starts off with the Trojan horse in the water.
Yep.
And then yeah.
Oh my goodness, and this was just a crazy start because like starting there, I was just like, oh, like we're getting right into it,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah. So they kind of mixed the Battle of Troy
Yeah,
and the
with the
Odyssey.
rest of the-
They,
yep.
they use the Battle of Troy as kind of like a prequel
exactly.
the
It's
Odyssey.
like a springboard.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
they go into Troy. They Troy it on up, and then they go on like the Odyssey. It was supposed to just be the trip home.
Yeah.
And Odysseus just decides, like I said, oh, we'll stop over here. We'll probably still beat Agamemnon home.
Yeah.
He does not beat Agamemnon home.
Yeah.
They barely make it home.
Yeah. So the movie starts with Sinan, which is a character that we kind of get a little bit of backstory like later in the film.
Yeah.
But
for right now, just some poor soldier standing outside the horse with no idea what's happening.
So this character is left behind essentially by the Trojan warriors. Mm-hmm. So the idea is that the Trojan warriors are going to feign leaving. Right, so they've been on this beach, essentially trying to siege the city of Troy for 10 years, and Troy's impenetrable. Right, they've just kind of come to the conclusion that they're not going to get in. Right, so there's kind of this mutual understanding between the Trojans and the people of Troy that the Trojans are just going to leave because they've been here for they've been on this beach sieging you for 10 years. It's not working. We're just going to leave. Right, so what happens is, as kind of a parting gift, they leave behind this Trojan horse. That it's a big horse sculpture made out of one of their boats. And essentially they're leaving it as a gift, like a parting gift, right? And it's like,
hey, our bad.
Yes, and the premise is it's the rules of the law of Zeus, where I'm assuming one of the laws of Zeus.
Great element of this movie.
So the law of Zeus is that, like, I guess if you end a war peacefully, you have to leave a gift. I'm assuming. I'm just gonna.
Well, the law of Zeus basically it's more like a general principle because they apply it in so many different situations.
Yeah. It's like treat people how you want to be treated.
Exactly.
It's a golden rule.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the idea of I actually don't know quite enough about mythology to know if he ever did this. I know he got into some other nefarious things, but basically the concept is Zeus could be anybody.
Yeah.
Right? Some beggar could walk up to you, and for all you know, that's Zeus in disguise. Kind of makes me think of like the Bible, like Jesus doing that. So I don't know if that's a reference to that or if Zeus actually did it himself.
Yeah. I'm sure Zeus did it plenty of times.
Probably. Somewhere between turning into all the birds and the bulls and everything else. But basically the concept is you never know where Zeus might be, so treat everybody nicely.
Yep, exactly.
Treat them as you would want to be treated.
Yep. And so the people of Troy, after they watch all of the ships depart, right, they come to the beach and they kind of figure out what's going on, and they see this big horse in the water, and they're like, oh, like, what is it? And Sinan is standing there, got left behind, by the way.
Sinan's literally just like looking around like, where'd everybody go? Just standing there with this horse.
He does. Yeah, Sinan does not know the plan, by the way. Odysseus himself told Sinan that we're leaving you behind. Generally, you got to give them this gift. Hopefully they let you live. But yeah, we're leaving you behind. Yep. Sinan is 100% in pure belief that all his people, the Trojan warriors, have left him, and he is there to give the gift to the people of Troy and beg for his life.
Mercy.
Yeah, that's essentially.
And,
yes. They pull up. And they pull up, swinging.
He sees the horse
they throw
on
a
the
spear
horizon,
immediately.
And Sinan jumps up and he's like, "Oh, this is a gift from," and he gets impaled to the horse with a spear.
Yes, literally.
And he dies moments later.
Yes. So he doesn't know that the people are that his fellow warriors are inside this Trojan. But okay, this is my only gripe with this film. How did he not know?
I don't know.
He genuinely watched all those ships leave with no people on them. The Trojan warriors were up against the wall of the city of Troy. Was he sleeping? Like, he didn't see.
It might have been done at night. I have no idea.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, like, how did he not know? Anyway, whatever.
No, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
Bro was just lost. But anyway, apparently Sinan's the only person in the entire army that doesn't actually know the plan. But anyway, so
literally,
and he actually gets mad at Odysseus later. But anyway, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So
well, yeah.
So anyway,
I would be mad.
He gets cooked, and they take the gift anyway.
Also,
right?
Crazy shot. Like, it comes back later. It's one of those things where context gets provided, but like, he gets speared to the horse, like I was saying, and literally on the other side is actually Odysseus himself specifically sees the spear stab through. Here's Sinan, and trying to like give his last words, gets killed, and he's like just it hurts.
Yeah,
him.
it does hurt. Yeah. Because Odysseus does care about his men.
He cares about every.
He cares about them so much that when they did the draft to come to this war, they pulled sticks because he knew that he didn't want people to have to like. I don't know, willfully give up their lives, if that makes sense. Exactly. No one really wanted to go to the war. So essentially, Odysseus gets drafted into this war by Agamemnon, yes. Agamemnon drafts him into this war. And Agamemnon got drafted by his brother, the leader of the Spartans, who John Barthol plays. What is his name,
Pretty
actually?
Cool. His name is Menelaus.
Menelaus, yes. So Menelaus drafts Agamemnon.
I have to look it up like 3 times.
Yes, and Agamemnon drafts Odysseus.
Yep.
So everyone's just kind of getting pulled. This is like the World War of like the Bronze Age. So so essentially what obviously Odysseus does not want his men to die. These men have been on this beach for 10 years, so they actually arrived as children. Like a lot of these guys are maybe 20 years old. They pull up like
Sinon
10 years old. You know what I mean?
Sinon was actually this poor kid.
Sinon was a kid when he joined this war.
I forget what Pattinson's character's name is. I know it because I went on my way to learn it.
Antinius.
Antinius. So Antinius basically draws a lot. Oh man. This whole story is doing a sob story of, I'd have gone to Troy with him if he'd have let me. He literally draws a lot to go to Troy. And then immediately turns and whispers to Sinon, basically, I forget exactly how, wasn't it? It was like some kind of
I'll give your family some money or something.
Yeah, basically saying like, he'd help out his family because, he was from a wealthier family or whatever if Sinon goes into the war in his stead. Yep. That's how Sinon gets speared to the side of a horse and dies.
Exactly, yeah. So he gets Sinon killed, I guess, inadvertently. And also Odysseus plays a hand in Sinon dying as well, which he carries with him throughout the film. But anyway.
Literally, he carries the lot.
Yeah, he does, yeah. So anyway, so essentially we're at the part where the people of Troy drag in the horse, and we get a scene of the Trojan horse, I guess
unfolding.
Lore, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So the men, the Trojan warriors are actually inside the horse, and they're going through it. They're drowning inside this horse, by the way, because the horse was halfway inside the water when it was getting picked up. So a couple of them actually drowned in the horse, and they're pissing and they're pooping inside the horse, and they're in there for a while, right?
Like a bunch of sardines.
Yeah, so they're not having a great time inside this horse. They have not walked around in probably, I don't know, a week. Like they're in there just they're when they drop out of the horse, when they get inside the city, they can barely walk because they've literally been in the horse for so long. Anyway, so they get dragged inside the city. They have a big festival, whatever. The people of Troy have this big victory.
I distinctly remember at this point in the movie, I just kind of couldn't help but say out loud like the things we did to get our ops back then.
No, for real,
it's genuinely crazy.
Yeah,
man.
Odysseus is a genius, by the way. But anyway,
this dude's like the John Wick of the Bronze Age.
So we see his plan hatching, right? Night befalls, and the warriors that are inside this Trojan horse. The plan is they're essentially gonna sneak out of the horse. They're inside the city walls now. This horse has been pulled into the city of Troy, which is impenetrable, and they're gonna open the gates from the inside, kill the guards at the front gate, and all the people, the Trojan warriors are gonna be against the wall, and they're gonna run in as soon as
People of Ichthus just come on in.
And that plan works perfectly. They get out of the horse. There's like 20 of them. Those warriors
and it's a pretty awesome sequence. Honestly,
they stealth kill all the guards. They get up to the front gate, and then the guards kind of get alerted.
Yeah, the guards get alerted last second.
Man.
Exactly. They're doing like just waves of freaking Trojan warriors.
Yep.
As
Well, Troy warriors, the people, the warriors of Troy are like just essentially trying to
because I think they're technically called Trojans. That's why it's the Trojan horse, because it was a gift for Troy. Like
the Trojan warriors are the ones that are attacking.
No, they are. But I'm saying like they're from Ichthus, I believe the place is called, or Ithacus.
Yeah.
One of those two.
Yeah.
And it's called the Trojan horse. It's like a derivative of like Troy. Like it's like if someone gave us an American horse. Like I think that's what that kind of
the warriors are Trojan. The group is called the Trojan warriors. The group of the people of Ithacus and the people that are under Agamemnon and the people that are under Spartans. Them together are the Trojan warriors.
I thought it was the Trojan horse because it was named for Troy.
No. The city of Troy, they have their own guard. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they were the Trojans. That's what I thought. No. But anyway, moral of the story is tons of these guys are flooding. Odysseus and his guys are like they're trying to pull open this gate, but that doesn't happen very quickly. So
the plan is to open the gate from inside. Yeah.
And Odysseus is just like a beast with a bow.
He's nice
pretty
with a bow.
early on.
Yes.
Literally, no one, and I mean no one, is even capable of like just pulling his bow, stringing his bow in order to make it usable.
Yeah.
And also, this dude's just such a beast. When he goes like hunting any animal, he actually just like, because his bow is so, well, I guess you could probably do this in general, but anyway, he pulls his string and plucks it to basically give a warning to the animal he's about to shoot, because he's got to be even cooler.
Yeah, it'd be too easy.
Give the prey warning or whatever.
But so essentially they get the gate open, and we've got the biggest aura farmer in the Bronze Age on the other side of that gate walking in, man. So we got the Trojan warriors flooding in once the gate's open, and before the Trojan warriors come in, bro, Agamemnon is just standing there with the coolest armor you've ever seen in your entire life.
So
the cover of the film where like it has like the you can see like the back of like the Trojan warriors. Yeah, it's him. He has like the spine, like the golden spine column on his helmet. Dude, it's so tough,
all
bro.
I keep thinking of whenever I see him do literally anything is this is Bronze Age Bronze Age Darth Vader.
Literally,
That's what he's looking like.
Bro, he's standing in the gates, and his people just pour in behind him, bro. It's so cool. But they essentially destroy the city of Troy.
Yeah, they lay waste.
Troy
to
did not
it
stand
entirely.
a chance. Their guard was down because they assumed that the Trojan warriors had left on those boats that they seen. They literally watched the entire fleet leave, and they did not expect an attack at all. So all the guards are like not really on their like tip top guard,
not
you know
ready
what I mean?
at all.
And they just got caught with their pants down crazy. So the entire city falls, and Odysseus
And they like burn it down. Like literally, buildings are being knocked over.
And
people
Odysseus
just
is
snatched
kind
out
of
of their homes and murdered.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
the typical.
Yeah, and Odysseus is kind of like the Oppenheimer of his time during this film because he realizes that what he just did, essentially conducting this war in this way,
Zeus's law on the concept. Like
Zeus's law is
they
gone.
violated that so deeply.
Essentially, the very thin veil of trust between humans in this world has been completely totaled. Right?
Mm-hmm.
They essentially offered up a gift. And it led to their destruction, and they're offering a gift, right? You're never supposed to like, and it goes against Odysseus' entire worldview because he himself warns the animals before he kills them. You know what I mean? He's a very fair fighter. You know what I mean? He believes in honor, and this is the least honorable thing that's happened. And then the way that these warriors, the Trojan warriors, carry out this raiding is the least honorable as well. They're killing, they're killing women and children.
Literally,
they don't care.
Just
They're killing
out of their
anything.
Homes and just
They're cutting heads off of statues. We see Athena's statue get her head cut off as well. At the same time that Zendaya's character is just a girl in the city gets beheaded at the exact same time. And so that's why later in the film, Athena kind of shows herself as Zendaya's character to Odysseus because it's just like Odysseus just it's like just the trauma follows him. You know what I mean? He realizes what he has done. He's enabled this behavior.
Way than we're explaining it because the part about Odysseus like kind of deep-seated guilt at what happened in Troy is actually kind of hidden under it, but it's basically subtly kind of hinted at, and people keep saying like you don't even want to go home, like different oracles, people with prophecies, the gods, all of this. They're like, you don't want to go home for some reason. And they're asking him even. They're like, why don't you want to go home? And, we're thinking survivor's guilt, thinking, oh, maybe he's afraid things have changed and whatnot. But it's because he's, of all the people who've taken part in this war, he's the only one who actually registers like the weight of what they've done. I mean, to be fair,
he enabled everyone else to show their true nature as well. But he essentially Odysseus through doing this exposes the true nature of men and that they're not to be trusted and they are essentially just destructive. You know what I mean? The destructive nature of man. Right? This is fully exposed during the Battle of Troy. And so after the Battle of Troy, Agamemnon bids him farewell. Also, John Barthel's character. Bids him farewell.
His way.
Yeah. And this entire war, by the way, is it's fought over a woman. So the lore of the Battle of Troy is that John Barthel's character, who is Menelaus, his wife essentially is abducted by the king of Troy, and so this entire fight is to get his wife back. And so his wife is the face that launched 1,000 ships, right? This whole war is based off of essentially Menelaus's pride, and he can't lose his wife to this king, right? So essentially, after this war's done and they essentially sack the city of Troy, they're all going home, and Menelaus is done, and Agamemnon's done, and so they're all going home, whatever. And Odysseus says, He didn't really want to be a part of this war in the first place, so he decides not to follow their route back because he's tired of following them.
I think he says at the moment,
I followed Agamemnon long enough,
which also is true. But I think it also was part of the fact that deep down he didn't want to go home. He couldn't bring himself to do it yet.
He wanted to do some adventuring first before he wanted to essentially clear his mind of what he had just done. I think that's what his kind of
effectively
motivation was for doing this. So he takes his army and they take a different route. Right, they're going home and they take a different route. They take the wrongest turn. I don't know. Like
the left turn of immeasurable casualties.
The left turn of doom and despair. I'm not gonna lie. So essentially, I think what's going on is that the gods are punishing Odysseus for enabling this behavior.
Yeah, I believe it started with the violation of Zeus's law. The destruction of the Athena statue, for example, kind of like how do I put it, offending Athena as well. And then actually later on it kind of gets compounded on and really continuously compounded on. But the kind of next immediate example that I'd say Odysseus is directly responsible for is he basically gets petty with a Cyclops and shoots it when he kind of could have just ran. And
But
that's how you get Poseidon angry too.
yeah. So yeah, essentially this entire situation, the Trojan War itself, was an affront to the gods, right?
Yeah.
And so the gods feel that he should be punished for this, and they go about this in some very brutal ways. So we get into the Odyssey, the story of the Odyssey, right? So Agamemnon, meanwhile, Agamemnon does actually get home, right?
Yep.
He gets home by taking the known route or whatever, as well as Menelaus. They both get home fine, right? But Agamemnon won the war, so he goes home and he assumes that just all peaches and cream. He comes home a hero, right? A war hero.
Yep.
That is not the case. So just to get Agamemnon's story off before we get into the actual Odyssey story, Agamemnon comes home to actually get to the war. He makes a sacrifice to calm the seas, right? And that sacrifice is his own daughter. Yep. So he throws his daughter off of a cliff to calm the seas and appease Poseidon, and so they get to the Battle of Troy peacefully, and that actually does work, right?
Yeah, that worked out.
But what he did not realize is that killing his wife's child, and their own child, obviously, she made his wife very upset, and he's been gone for 10 years plus, and so she has a new lover at this point, and when he comes home, they've already hatched a plan to kill him, because obviously he's killed their daughter, and so she's not very happy about that.
No love left there.
Exactly, and his wife's lover wants to essentially usurp the throne. So he comes home,
goes off without a hitch.
Yeah, he gets assassinated. So Agamemnon dies. The ore farmer himself wins a
funny
war, comes home a war hero, and dies
with how cool
in his
they
own
were
bed.
presenting him to be. I swear, just somehow through some twist on the story, I thought he was going to be the kind of final villain of the movie.
Yeah.
No, he was assassinated.
No, he gets assassinated by his wife, and that essentially is kind of a warning to Odysseus that when you get home, not everything is always going to be peaches and cream. Now, Menelaus, the brother of Agamemnon, he also gets home as well. He gets his wife back, but she's like kind of scarred. I'm not necessarily sure how that happened, but this whole war is over this wife, right? So the wife goes to Troy, and then Menelaus conjures up this giant army to go get her back. He gets her back, but she has her face scarred, and they clearly have a strained relationship.
Yeah, I believe he did that to her as punishment.
I think he did, yes. Yeah. I think she ran to Troy willingly, maybe. But anyway, so he's a very ruthless, he's the leader of Sparta. He's a very, very ruthless leader. And, he scarred it. I'm assuming he scarred his wife to teach her a lesson.
And he has this diabolical line, basically, because up to this point in the movie, she's only shown from this side, right? And the scarring is all over here. So, like, Tom Holland's character, Telemachus, haven't even mentioned him yet. Odysseus' son. But he basically sets out on this journey where we actually see Menelaus for the first time in the movie. But he ventures out basically to try and find his dad because things are getting wicked at home without him. John Bernthal's character is, explaining, like, yep, this war was fought over. I'm sure you've heard of Helen of Troy, the face that launched 1,000 ships. And then this is the one where he grabs her chin and he turns her face towards Tom Holland's character to reveal how the whole left side over here's got the scarring. And then he goes and he's like, or maybe just about 500 now.
Yeah, that's
it's
brutal.
Like, geez, dude.
Yeah, wicked. So, we see the fate of Menelaus and Agamemnon, but what is still in the air is the Odysseus, right? How is he going to get his people home, right? Those two got home, how's Odysseus getting home? So, we're getting to the actual story of the Odyssey, right? So, essentially, they take a different path, and they kind of say that, we're going to...
their first bad stop?
It was the Cyclops.
Yep.
So, So, they get to this island... And they like, okay, we need some food, right? Because we pillaged some from Troy, but it's not enough to get home, right?
Yeah.
So we got to stop at islands. They're gonna stop at islands on the way to kind of get food and get supplies and stuff like that. Do a little bit of hunting, get some sheep, whatever. Cool. Yeah.
But so they see this one sheep, and the guys are like, oh, let's go kill it. And Odysseus, being the smart cookie he is like, wait, sheep move in flocks. We'll follow it and find the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
And so they do. They follow it to this nice little cave. There's a small fire still burning, but no one's in the cave.
Yep.
The sheep come around. They even find some cheese made that's just kind of hanging in some sacks around on the wall.
So something lives here, right? This is not like a random,
this
is not a cave, right? Exactly. So.
Yeah. So as they're waiting to find out who does live there, they're even like, they settle down. They're like, Zeus's law, we'll just welcome him on back.
Yeah.
Cool, whatever. Until it turns out, first actually the flock arrives and they're like, this is a whole lot of sheep because someone's actually hurting them.
Yep.
And then that someone arrives, a ginormous Cyclops.
Yes, and this is a great rendition of a Cyclops.
Yeah, I love
this
the
Cyclops looks
design,
good,
dude.
man. Oh my goodness, it's probably, I don't know, 10 times the size of a human being.
Yeah,
easily,
I'd say
maybe more.
Yeah,
it's
huge.
Like
20.
To the point where they don't even bother trying to attack it because they know they can't.
They never even go to like try and kill this thing. They know that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, it's just big. So yeah, what happens when they get when the Cyclops comes to the cave? What does it do? First
Yeah,
thing.
first thing it does, man. So it comes on in. I forget if night was. Yeah, it was basically around nightfall at
Yep.
this point, but there was still light coming on into the cave, and that's how they'd been seeing for the most part. So the Cyclops closes his door by grabbing a ginormous boulder and putting it in front of the entrance to the
Yep.
cave, barring any escape. And the lights are now off.
They're cooked.
Yeah.
They went into that cave assuming that like, oh, it's gonna be like some villagers or something like that. No, it's a giant monster that has now locked them in, and there's no light at all. There's no natural light. They can't see anything.
Light.
This monster is walking around them. They can't see it. It's very sneaky. It's also intelligent.
Extremely quiet for
it's
something
intelligent.
that large.
It is an intelligent being.
smart.
Yeah, it can talk and stuff like that too. It doesn't talk to them because it sees them as vermin. You know what I mean? It sees
Yep.
them as rats.
Does
You wouldn't
not
talk
care.
to a rat. You wouldn't talk to an ant. You know what I mean? So
Unthreatened by
yeah,
them.
yeah, exactly. It's completely unthreatened by them, and it just starts eating on them. It
Literally,
eats two of them.
Like they're like standing around panicking in the darkness, and somebody just gets grabbed
Yep,
and just
yep,
taken.
yep,
and
exactly.
then you hear some terrible, agonizing sounds, a crunch, and there goes that guy's helmet on the
Yep,
ground.
yep.
It, like I think it moves closer until the point you can see it in the fire.
Yeah,
grabs
yeah,
another
yeah.
guy, and you see exactly what it did to the last guy.
Yep.
Picks him up and just goes.
Yep.
You know, and just eats the guy's
A
head.
midnight snack,
Literally.
and then it goes to sleep right in front of him.
Yeah, it does that, and then it just lays down. Again, it's so unbothered by these guys. It does nothing. It doesn't care to try and trap them.
Yep.
It doesn't threaten them.
Yep.
It doesn't attack. It
Mhm.
just lays down
Yep.
because what are you gonna do about
Yeah,
it?
exactly. Yep. Genuinely. So they get two of the guys die, and they're like, oh wow, we're trapped in there in this. And we have no access. Like we can't go back to the ship until the rest of the guys to come help. There's just like literally 20 of them in this cave, and they're just stuck in there with this giant Cyclops. So it goes to sleep, and they hatch a plan to try to run out as soon as it opens the door again, because it has to go outside
This
again in
part
the
I
morning.
actually remember from what I do know about the myth of,
Yep,
of
yep.
the Odyssey. I don't remember a whole ton, but they do the whole idea where.
What was it before then? This is before then. This is when they just try to run out. They just
You're
literally
right.
try to
Yeah,
run out.
this time they just tried to run.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, I'll
So
get around
yeah,
that later.
they just try to like make a break for it, right? And it literally stops them. Like it just like crushes one of them, and then the other two will try to run. They like try to split
smack
up.
some people,
Yeah,
they
just
get
smacks one
flung,
against
man.
the
Oh my
wall.
goodness.
Like they can't
Someone
get
gets
out.
bitten again.
Yep. So they close the door on them.
Somebody get stepped on?
Yeah, a couple of them. Yeah, so it's like literally as soon as
Like,
they try to leave, it's
they
killing
lost
all
a
of
ton
them
of
before they
people
leave.
for that.
Yes, it can see them obviously that they're different than the sheep. It lets the sheep out and stops them from leaving. So it shuts the door again. So they're stuck in there for another day. Now, what's their next plan?
Yeah, and this is where the myth part comes
Yep.
in. So like I was saying, there was like hay and stuff in there that it had before. So they take that and they kind of fluff that over their backs. And while the Cyclops is sleeping, they actually take like a large log they'd had, light it on fire, and as the Cyclops is asleep, they actually stab it into its eye. So the Cyclops gets up and he's like tweaking out, yelling in his weird like ethereal Cyclops voice, smacks some people so hard they actually just spin through the cave and die, hit a wall.
Yep.
But basically, yeah, with that being done, the next day the Cyclops wakes up still blind, but it's sitting by the door because it still has no intention of just letting these guys leave.
Yeah.
And it's basically feeling the sheep walk by, and it's feeling for their wool, and so
To make sure it doesn't let any of the soldiers out. Yeah.
exactly, because they're wearing hard metal armor, not wool like sheep. But they throw on the hay on their backs, so it feels soft enough that it basically fools the Cyclops, and they mostly slip by.
Also, this Cyclops is one of Poseidon's children, apparently.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So that's a thing in like Greek mythology.
Yep,
Basically, the whole Cyclops race exists because of Poseidon.
Yeah.
I do not remember what it is that he produced them with, but all Cyclopses are his kids.
Yeah.
You
So-
should be ashamed of yourself, Poseidon.
Yeah, exactly. They're monstrosities and freaks of nature. Anyway, so they essentially this plan works. They have the hay on their backs and they end up getting out. But before they leave, Odysseus is on timing. All right, you killed about 12 of my men. I've had enough. He literally turns around and just as a fuck you, he just gets an arrow, peels it back, and just shoots him in the eye again.
And it was the funniest thing because it was like both Odysseus and the Cyclops have like a moment of pettiness because the Cyclops like I forget.
It spits out a helmet
Yeah,
at
it's
him.
like I think it caught like some inkling
Yeah.
that they were there. So like
Yeah. It
and
kind of knew
chewed
that
up-
they got out. Yeah.
It chewed up some guy's helmet when it ate him, and so like it spits out the mangled helmet in front
right
of
at Odysseus' feet. Yeah.
So he gets heated, pulls out his bow, shoots it in the eye.
Yeah. He's like, fuck you, man.
It's just funny
Yep.
to see man and monster both being so petty to each other.
Yep, and then Odysseus is like, "Oh shit!" because it gets up and starts chasing them,
Yeah,
even though
it
I can't
didn't
see them.
appreciate
It can
that.
still hear them. So it's like it starts chasing them down this giant hill. Then they're running to the boat at this point. They're trying to get out of there, right?
Yep. For island number 1, they're gonna get chased
Yeah,
off
yeah,
of.
yeah. They're cool off it, right? Honestly, He sold because they low key could have grabbed a couple
Yep.
sheep and dip,
Yeah.
but you know
This
they
is
didn't
the
have
part
time for
where,
that.
yep.
Yeah.
Not to mention, this is the part where they angered Poseidon, so that
Yeah.
probably made things just
Yes,
that much worse.
Yeah, and so he does anger Poseidon by doing that because they did blind his son or whatever, Poseidon's son. But anyway, so Odysseus gets to the boat, and his own men also get mad at him for doing that. They're like, bro, why do you have to shoot that Cyclops? We could have like gotten some sheep and then got off of here, right?
Yep.
But he's like, nah, man, you killed you killed like,
Also, a
you
bunch
killed my
of
man.
guys died on the run back to the boat.
Yes.
The Cyclops
More,
dies in the
more
water
guys
after
died
Salome
as a
gets
direct
bad.
result for Odysseus
Exactly.
shooting
So he
that
did
Cyclops.
get tons of his
He
own
got a
men
couple
killed
guys
doing
killed.
that. And not
I ain't
to
gonna lie, it was
mention-
justified. But anyway,
I get being heated. I do.
Yeah.
But and to make matters worse, when they do actually hop back onto the sea, the waters are way rougher on them now.
Yes.
And so the whole crew looks at this like, this is Poseidon's wrath. Look what you've done.
Yes.
You've gotten us cursed.
Yes, exactly. So they end up landing on the next island, and this is the Witches Island.
Was it the witches or the guys in the armor first?
Ooh, it was the guys in the armor. I am wrong.
Yeah, guys in the armor came first. Yeah, because they had one boat left by the witch. It was bad. And they didn't get chased off that island for once.
Yeah, you might be right. I think you're
So
right.
yeah,
about that.
so
Yes,
next they wind up on this one island that actually looks pretty chill for the most part.
It's like a smoky forest.
Yeah, they arrive at like what looked to be like a pretty much controlled burn induced on a forest.
Yeah. By this time they're lost, by the way, because the
they are lost.
Poseidon's wrath has kind of shaken them.
They
have
don't
no idea
know where they are,
Yeah.
so they're just trying to get somewhere that they can grab some more food. And so they come on in. They see this kid. Well, actually, they see this basically like suit of silver armor. It's honestly some pretty cool looking armor. But the suit of armor has a wearer. Said wearer turns around, and it's actually just some kid.
Yes.
And I think he was like over a dead animal or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. It was just standing there.
Yeah, just being there, aura farming and whatnot. A lot of characters in this movie are aura demons, and honestly, I love them for it. Because especially Odysseus himself.
Yeah.
He's so cool.
He's
actually absurdly cool.
He shows his aura later in the film, but
it shows up later, and it's not even just aura. It's like this guy is genuinely awesome. But anyway, kid is done aura farming. He turns around, and they try to talk to this kid. Just say like, "Hey, where are your parents?"
Yep.
You know,
it starts screaming and running away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like just looks at him, just gets to tweaking out and runs.
Yeah.
They're confused, and
like runs over a hill and they follow it.
Yeah, exactly. They look over this hill, and from like some smoke over the hill come a bunch of
you just see
straight
silver
up giant
armor.
dudes wearing
you just
that
see
same
silver armor, bro.
Just silver armor. You can't even see their faces under it. It's kind of terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
They're all at least 3 times the height of a guy, and like
they're like 12
super
feet tall.
broad. Yep.
Yeah.
Just massive dudes coming.
Like they're built like ogres, literally.
Yep,
yeah.
Basically, just a ton of like massive ogres, orcs, whatever you want to call them.
Yep.
Come on over that hill and just
they start no diffing.
people.
Yeah, they start no diffing. So
they
at this
have
point,
swords that match their size, so they can just do this and someone dies.
Exactly. And the first island was a bust, mind you. So Odysseus' entire crew is starving at this point, right? They literally can barely fight because they're already starving. They are getting ran down by these ogres, man. Like they start and they're literally sprinting back to the ship. They're like, yeah, no.
And to make matters worse,
probably hundreds of these guys, right?
Oh yeah,
there's probably 100
of
these ogres, maybe more. Yeah.
And to make matters worse, before they even get like out of that kind of area, the trees start moving
to
block
the trees
their
they
path.
start shifting and
a bunch of guys. It was crazy. A bunch of guys pretty much get formed into a small like kind of rectangular fence by these moving trees.
Yep.
And it literally traps them. So a bunch of these giants actually just stand around them on all sides, and they're
just
stabbing in there. And it's just you just see these guys just getting mutilated in there, and it's just brutal. But the guys who don't get trapped by branches, which they lost at least half their force coming in there, half their landing party.
Yep.
So they run back to the boats, and these dudes are following them down the beach. These dudes run fast too.
Yep.
So more guys keep getting whacked as they get on into the beach. They're jumping into their boats and whatnot.
Yep. Odysseus' ship starts to pull off, so they they're safe. And they look back, and there's 2 of the boats that are sitting on the beach, and they're getting cooked. Bro, these ogre guys are like literally chopping at the boat so they can't get away. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So they start. They lose like half their force at that point.
Yep, and at this point, even I forgot to mention that Odysseus kind of has like a right hand on his set of boats, specifically Eurylochus. Yeah, he actually gets grabbed up by one of these guys, and I thought that was simply the end of him. But Odysseus actually lands a crazy
nice
shot, hits one in the
nice
eye,
headshot. Yeah.
Frees Eurylochus. He's like he's in the water scrambling to get to the boat. A bunch of guys pull him over. So he makes it back luckily. But yeah, the other boats were not so lucky. You literally the camera just kind of moves past Odysseus and his ship, and you just see one of the
He's watching
other
carnage,
ships
bro.
literally 5 of these guys. Actually, I think it might have been like only 3. They're on
Yeah.
the side of one of these ships because they're so tall they can
They're
still
holding
stand in
it
the
there.
water.
Yes.
They grab onto it, hold it in place, and they just tip it over.
Yeah.
So everyone on that ship is done for.
Yep.
So yeah, they just have to leave those
It
unfortunate
was a
guys
actual
behind.
massacre.
And
If you've seen the film, you know.
It's brutal because even as they're sailing away for so much
Yep.
distance,
You could just
they
see
can
them.
still
Yeah.
see and hear, especially their guys just getting just absolutely torn apart back there.
Yeah. And it's like, dang, bro. I mean, what do? You can't go
There's
back and help
nothing
them.
you can do.
There's nothing you can do.
There's
These
not a
guys are
thing
in
you can
full
do
plate
about that.
armor. Arrows do nothing really. You
Yep.
shoot them directly in the eye, which only Odysseus has the skill to do.
Exactly.
And you can't. They don't take damage from
I was gonna
from
say,
melee.
they tried
like, you
hitting
just
them
can't
with
beat them,
several
bro.
things,
Yeah,
and they just plinked off this
Yeah,
armor.
yeah.
There's no chance.
So yeah, they're cooked at this point. So they leave, and then they essentially get. They're starving at this point. There's just nothing. The last 2
it's
islands have
brutal.
been a bust. There's been no food at all. They are literally starving. They're dying. The Odysseus is getting blamed for this essentially.
Yep.
The crew is kind of starting to mutiny at this point. They literally just pissed. So they land on this island, this next island, and they see like a little house up on the little hill. And they're like, okay, let's go up to this house on the
let's
hill.
go up
And
there.
there's smoke. They're cooking something clearly. So they just like walk up. And on the way up this hill, they tell Odysseus, like, dude, you're staying here.
on the boat. Yeah. You've pissed off enough gods today.
Exactly, yeah. Let's not fumble this one. This looks like a peaceful island. We just want to get some food. So he's like, okay, fine. Give me a boat. I'll go on the island and go hunting, I guess. So while you guys are doing what you're doing, like, Odysseus is going to stay out of the way.
He basically says, like, okay, you guys can go up there. He says, basically, no matter what happens, there will be enough to eat when you get back. Because he's going to go be the
go
best
kill a deer
hunter
or
of all
something.
men.
Yeah, exactly.
And, go do that.
Yep.
Now, immediately red flags start going off because they're walking on their way in. It looks like probably the ruins of a village or something like that. And there's just this lion just kind of chilling under a rock in some shade.
Yep. And a panther and a cheetah.
Yep, and then a panther and then a cheetah and then a tiger. And they're all just watching these guys go on.
Yep.
And it's like,
why are these animals so chill? Like,
And like, why is every big cat variety on Earth here? These guys don't even all share ecosystems.
Exactly. Yeah. And Odysseus at this point has already gone hunting, so he's
he hasn't seen any of this. He hasn't left the beach they came in on.
So it's just his main crew that are going up to this house. And so they go to the house, and there's a woman. She's freaking out. She's like, "Oh my god!" Like there's these warriors just pull up. Like she's scared. She's
terrified,
super scared.
Tries to sprint out of her house.
Yep.
Eurylochus basically like runs after her. He's like,
"Hey,
"Hey, we're not gonna hurt you. We are not gonna hurt you." He takes off his
Exactly.
helmet. My name's Eurylochus. What's your name? Her name is Circe. That's important for later. And just say, we need a bunch of food, and she has a bunch of food, so that's convenient.
Yep. And so what happens is Circe offers them food. She says, "Oh, leave your like your armor and your weapons outside because we're just peaceful, right?" And they go out the back and they leave their armor there and they look out and they see a bunch of other armor and swords.
Just
and
old,
it's like, for me, that's a
forgotten
huge
armor.
red flag. I'm not gonna lie.
At that point, I think we actually said in theaters, like, I'd be staying out there with my armor. Like, I'm just gonna be out here in the armor.
I'm cool off
where
it,
I feel
bro.
safe.
I'm super cool off it. But they're hungry. They're starving. There's food
very
inside, so
hungry.
they're gonna do anything to get that food. So they listen to her. They all sit at the table. She serves them all soup that has like some meat in it or whatever. And it's like
I'm not gonna lie, it looked pretty good.
It looked pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. And so they start eating it, and they're feasting. They can't even they're just eating. Like they're starving
speak.
at this point, so they can't even talk. Yeah, they're just eating, right? And like it gets to the point where like they're still eating, and they're still eating. And you're like, they can't stop eating.
Yeah,
they like
exactly.
start like they like
some of
are
them
feverishly
are asking
eating.
like, how do you have this much food?
Yeah.
And I forget kind of exactly the whole way her dialogue goes, but she starts saying to Eurylochus specifically, basically, she's saying, I forget if she said she kind of planned, but basically she had a bunch of food, and she's saying, she says you never know when you might have guests, especially, men, warriors, soldiers like yourselves. She says too much is never enough for you guys, and it's like you kind of see fear starting to creep into Eurylochus and these other guys' faces, but they still can't stop eating.
Yeah.
And it's at this point that I realized, like, oh no, this food's not normal. They cannot stop eating. It's once you start eating, you just can't stop.
Yep. So they're under a spell at this point. They all can't stop eating, and it cuts back to Odysseus. He's going hunting. He finds this deer.
He finds a deer.
And he does his little
cool
pluck.
ass warning shot. Lets the deer know to run. Hits it anyway. He's Odysseus, of course he does.
Exactly. Yep.
And so he runs up to catch this deer, and as she's like explaining, how something about soldiers, and no food's never enough for him. And she's like kind of like rubbing her hands all through his hair and whatnot. He still can't stop eating. He doesn't turn to be like, "Hey, why you caressing me?"
Yeah.
But he still just can't stop eating.
Yep.
Odysseus, meanwhile, catches up to this deer, and
He
it's a
looks
naked
over.
guy.
Yeah,
It's not
it's
a
just
deer.
is an arrow on a guy's back. He's like, what the heck? This guy's naked, and he realizes that the deer was never a deer. It was a guy that has been shapeshifted into a deer. Now that he's dead, he transformed back into a man. So he's like, all right, well, let me go check on my men because something's off, right?
Meanwhile, Cersei has started to Play-Doh mold Eurylochus's head.
Yes.
And she just starts going around the table just bending and pulling and stretching all these people.
Yes.
Until she has turned every single one of Odysseus' men into a literal pig.
Yep. She's essentially molded them all into pigs, and she is
so that
convinced
big
that
cat
there is their
exhibit
true form.
outside was all a bunch of random, probably soldiers or something or others, who she decided to just turn them into her petting zoo.
Yeah, exactly. So she turns people into animals. And essentially she has turned all of the warriors and all of these Trojan warriors, Odysseus' men, into pigs, and she's convinced that there is their true form, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Odysseus kind of comes in after, and there's a bunch of pigs like at the gate, and they're like, all right, well, I guess it's, whatever. It's just she's got a bunch of pigs. He's already kind of privy to it because he's already seen the shape shifting thing.
because he just shot a deer that was actually a guy.
But he's acting like he doesn't know. So he walks in and he talks to this witch, Cersei, and he's essentially talking like, he's acting like, oh, have you seen my men? Like, did they come through here? She's like, oh, no, they haven't come through here. Can you leave your weapons and armor at the door? So he does so. He goes and leaves his weapons and armor at the door, but he keeps a dagger on him. He keeps that thing on him. But she notices this.
Okay, never go
and so there's already an air of distrust between the two.
Exactly.
Right? And they start talking, and he's kind of like, yeah, well, I'm looking for my men, and if you've seen them, is there anything, do you have food? Like, I'm hungry as well. And she says, yeah, I've got some food. Just sit down, I'll get you a plate, right? So she gets a cup of stew, and you're like, dude. Don't eat the freaking stew,
I'm like,
man.
Bro, don't eat that, dude.
Yes.
Once
And all the animals, and the pigs are bashing against the door.
And the pigs, they start like ramming the door. There's like squealing at them.
Yeah.
Mind you, to get to this point, she actually asked him like, why don't you grab one of those pigs and slaughter it for
Yeah,
your food, which is crazy.
That is a crazy thing to say.
Yeah.
But
Also, there's this crow in there that's just squawking because it also doesn't want him to eat that. And so I was like, okay, that crow is someone who she probably had like a special kind of hate for because she got this crow in a cage.
Yep.
And like the crow starts squawking and she just like perfect flicks some object into the crow's mouth to shut it up.
It's like food or whatever, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it was like a little bit of food. But anyway, so what happens is she spots the dagger on him and she points it out. She's like, yeah, well, I can't trust you because you literally brought a dagger in here and I told you not to bring any weapons in. And he's like, oh, okay. Well, he puts the dagger on the table. And then
keeps asking her questions instead of eating.
And at this point, the veil of trust is gone. Like they clearly don't trust each other anymore.
It's just about when it's gonna pop off and what the conclusion is gonna be.
But he's still starving, so he's about to eat this bowl of stew or whatever. And then he hears like the birds squawking and the pigs are bashing at the door. He's like, So then she grabs the knife and jumps at him and puts up to his throat. He leans back and he grabs the crow's neck.
The crow by the neck.
He's like, you stabbed me. I'm killing this crow. She's like, oh, okay. All right, let me chill. So what is it? And they start talking to each other, and she's essentially like, why would you let this group of men come into this house with me alone? Like, clearly, they're going to pillage me, they're going to steal, they're whatever. They're going to kill me or whatever. And he's like, oh, but they didn't do that. So
why'd you turn them to pigs?
Exactly. Why'd you turn them into pigs?
And she's literally like, they could have.
Yeah. And he's like, well, they didn't. So let's chill out on that. And essentially, he lets go of the crow. She pulls off of, the knife. And we learned that the crow is her sister, actually.
Yeah, because he's like, he asked her, who the crow was. It was her sister. And her justification for turning her sister into a crow, I figured they're probably...
They get along better that way.
They get along better that way. Yeah, when your sister can't, I don't know, speak her mind and, like, defend herself from you.
Which is insane to me.
Yeah.
But, yeah, essentially he gets the Cersei to bring all of his... turn them back from pigs to men. And
yeah, which I didn't think would be feasible. But she just is, like turn back and kind of does some, like, magical hand waving and stuff.
Yep.
And also, I kind of want to bring up that this is where something kind of cool shows up. So, like how I mentioned earlier, Odysseus, despite the Trojan horse being his idea, he's actually kind of the only person who feels any guilt over what they do in Troy.
Yeah.
And this kind of actually starts to, it's not explicitly stated, but I think it's kind of the thread of why, because it's emphasized a whole lot that he will be the only one to live. The witch is actually the first one to tell him that you will be the only one to survive of all of this.
Yeah.
Not only is it probably just his punishment, especially because he hates watching his men die, but it's emphasized, like, she's even like making a big deal of how your men are bad, but she can tell you're actually better than they are.
Yeah.
And that's part of why she backs off ultimately when he asks her to.
Yep.
And she doesn't think being a pig is his true form and whatnot.
because like I said, he's the only one who felt any guilt over that, and that's kind of going to be hinted on some more later.
Yep. So they all leave the island. They don't speak of this ever again, by the way.
Yeah, no, I'm like, I get it'd probably be a very, very sore subject, but if I was Odysseus, I would not be able to help but say, like, so you were a pig for like 20 minutes. How was that? How was being a pig?
Yeah, that's pretty rough. So yeah, they go get on their boat and they leave because like don't want to be on this witch's island anymore.
Yeah.
I'm cool off it.
But hey, they didn't get chased off this island technically.
Yeah. And she tells them that the next place is
Yeah, she gives them this
Hades.
crazy prophecy. Exactly. Like, you got to go to Hades. What's going to happen is you're going to
sail through hell.
Yeah, you're going to sail this way for one. You're going to run across this terrible whirlpool. Yeah, it was.
No, the Hades.
No, that's
she just tells him about Hades.
Yeah, she just tells him go to Hades, and he's like, "Well, people don't really sail to
do a
Hades
ritual.
and come back."
Yeah, to do a certain
and
ritual.
She's like, "You will."
Yeah.
They won't,
Yeah.
but you will.
So you have to go to Hades and do a certain ritual. That's what she said.
Yep, exactly. Just
And so they go. They sail over to the island of Hades. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just like
an,
this crazy, like full black sand.
Yeah,
it's all like
ash.
She tells them to do like some blood sacrifices, so they take some.
Yeah, they take some
lambs over
sheep,
there.
yep.
I think she gave them. No.
Yeah, I don't know. They got some sheep though. I don't know.
they had sheep.
Yeah.
But anyway, take some sheep over there, slit their necks, let them bleed into a shield, sacrifice, and then all of the dead
warriors
of their army start to rise up out of the ground, and they come up.
Yep.
And first to go up is Sinon, actually.
Yeah.
Sinon comes up, cannot speak until he drinks some blood out of the shield. I guess, being dead, your throat gets dry. So does that, and pretty much Sinon is reasonably kind of mad, like, dude, you lied to me and let them kill me. What's that all about?
That's crazy work, by the way.
Yeah.
Justifiable crash out. I can't lie.
Yeah. And, he does the typical kind of like leader who lies move. And it's like, I needed you to believe. You had to not know because, men who are about to be killed tell the truth.
Yeah.
And you had to really believe the lie.
Yeah.
And let me see. It was, cause there was him. There was the guy on the ground who's, I can't recall.
Agamemnon was the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll skip to Agamemnon.
Yeah. So essentially, we go to like the next dead warrior, and these are all like
these
people
guys,
that
clear out so
fought.
Agamemnon can come on through.
These are all warriors that fought in the Trojan War, right? Or the people that they lost on the way. You know what I mean? And so essentially, Odysseus is being tortured by the people that he's let die. And next person up is Agamemnon. You see his big armor. You're like, dude, how'd this guy die, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And he tells him,
even surprised. He's like, didn't you make it home?
Yeah. And this is why, Agamemnon tells Odysseus that I got home and then I got assassinated. Like, going home does not mean you're safe. You know what I mean? Like, go home with caution. And so Odysseus takes this warning with not very lightly. Like, he went, later in the movie, he does actually.
You're right. Yeah. I was wondering why he was being so very careful because he was literally warned.
Yeah, he was actually warned. So anyway,
I thought he was just being mysterious.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? It ain't sweet over here. You know what I'm saying? When you get home, you gotta come back.
The battle ain't over.
Yeah, scope things out first. Don't just like announce yourself. You're not gonna be exactly accepted with roses, right? It's been a long time. You've been going for a long time. People are not loyal to you anymore.
Yeah.
You will die.
And Odysseus has been gone like much longer than Agamemnon, especially by this point specifically.
Yeah.
Well, no, beyond this point it gets even longer. But we're not gonna get to that just yet.
Exactly. And then the third person's like kind of this guy on the ground. It's like an oracle guy. He just kind of tells them like what's gonna happen. He's like, yeah, you're the only person that's actually gonna survive this trip. Your whole crew's gonna die. You're gonna go across a couple of other things. Next are sirens. You're gonna go past an island with sirens. Make sure that you don't get cooked by that because they will pull you in and you'll die. And then the next one's gonna be a whirlpool in this passage. And like if you go the whirlpool route, you're all gonna die. If you go through this like narrow rock passage, 6 of you are gonna die. But it's gonna suck. You're not gonna want to do that. So you're gonna get everyone killed if you go to the whirlpool.
Yep.
Don't go to the whirlpool.
Your determination to prevent any deaths will be the death of all.
Yes, exactly. So he just tells them the rest of the story basically. He's like, okay, well, all right, we're gonna leave, and none of his crew can hear him. I don't think.
Because he had them for the prophecy part. He had them dismissed.
Oh, gotcha.
He told them,
so
go back.
They just
like
told,
wait for me over there.
Yeah.
This one's private.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, and then it jumps back over to Sinon, who hands him back the lot that basically got him sent into this war.
Yep. This little stick. Yep.
And he's like, take that back. Get it to I'm forgetting this guy's name once
Robert
again.
Pattinson. Yeah.
Robert Pattinson's Antinous.
Yeah.
It's like get it to Antinous. Let him share in my shame for dying for this.
Yeah, let him know his shame.
Yep, and then I forget exactly how it was worded, but it was basically like, oh, and here's all the men you lost along the way. And Odysseus is like, what do they want from me? Because they're coming kind of fast up through the crowd, and they're pushing people over, and they're like, oh, they want you to share in their dishonor because Odysseus hasn't been able to bury a soul in a long time because the Cyclops cave.
They just
No
can't,
opportunity
yeah,
for burying
yeah,
those
yeah,
guys.
no. You
And
can't.
his
It's not
soldiers-
possible.
His soldiers were even like, you gotta bury those guys. Don't leave them. And he's like, we have to survive. You'll honor
Yes.
them by surviving.
Yes.
They die for us to escape, so we escape.
Exactly.
All of those unburied souls are not happy with that, so
Yeah.
they want to kill Odysseus and give him an improper burial here.
Yep. So they run. They
Get
next
chased
island they're
off
running
their-
off of.
Yeah, they get chased off of yet another island
Yep,
here.
exactly. So they head on through and they pass the sirens and they put wax in their ears, which is very smart, so you don't hear the sirens. One of the guys actually doesn't put wax in his ears, so he gets cooked.
Oh no, I think he took his out.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
because
But-
what happened is Odysseus does some crazy, kind of cool stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, I forget exactly what the reason was, but he
Well,
specifically.
they say no one's heard the sirens and lived.
Yeah, but I thought there was like a kind of a tactical reason for it.
I don't know.
I don't know, but basically,
Oh,
moral of the
they'll
story-
know when the song's gone.
You're right. That's what it was. Yeah. So that his soldiers would know when the song was, when they were out of range to hear it. Odysseus actually tells them, tie me up to this mast. Do not, I'm going to hear the siren song no matter what I say until I go back to normal and we're past the siren song. Do not let me down.
Yep.
Don't bring me down from here. Keep me tied up. And so he puts wax in everyone else's ears because the prophecy guy also warned, the sirens, your men would all die if they hear that siren song.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they do not listen to the siren song. Odysseus is tied up and he starts to tweak out when he hears
He's
the
going
siren
through
song.
agony, bro.
Like he's just it's bad. It's real
It's bad. Yeah.
Um,
And his like right hand man, what's his name?
his name it was. Dang it. I
here.
oh,
Oh yeah, Eurylochus.
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 Yeah.
Sorry. Yes.
Eurylochus.
Eurylochus. Oh, like literally is watching this. He's like, dang, bro.
Like he's just looking at him like, oh my
yeah,
God,
he's got
what are
wax
they
in his
doing
ear,
to
so
my
he
boy?
can't hear the song. But he's
Yeah.
literally watching Odysseus go through it.
Now, one random soldier, I believe it was actually that he saw Odysseus like tweaking out, and I think he took out the wax to try and like listen to him or see if he
Yeah,
could
yeah,
help
yeah.
Odysseus. Hears the siren song, immediately
Yeah, he immediately jumps off the
boat
boat,
and starts
yeah,
swimming that
yeah,
way.
yeah.
And like it's this one in particular kind of is made to sting a little bit
Yeah.
because the guy next to him, you see he can't stop what he's doing, but you just see him start to break down as he keeps rolling without the guy next to him. He
Yeah.
just starts like crying and crapping.
Yep.
It's
Yep. It's
just
tough, man.
terribly painful.
Yep.
Because
So
there's nothing you can do for that guy.
yeah, he's cooked. So they keep going. They get past the sirens, and they see that Odysseus is no longer tweaking. So they're good to unplug
Yep,
the
they
ears
untie
and
him,
untie him.
unplug
Yep, they're
their
good.
ears.
Yep. And the next thing they come across is this split. So they
Mhm.
see the whirlpool.
One more thing about the siren
Good,
song,
yeah.
because Odysseus actually later on explains the siren song.
Yeah.
How it works is that it basically you hear like all the things that you wish you could have the most. You kind of hear like it's custom tailored to your heart or whatever. You hear what you want the most, and it kind of like
and it tells you how you can't have them. How you
Exactly.
can't have them the most.
exactly. So basically, what he was being tortured with, why he was genuinely tweaking when he heard the song, and like the other guy just started swimming towards it. That guy probably had a simplistic desire that he thought was there. Odysseus, on the other hand, was being told specifically that about how he cannot save any of these
Yeah.
men.
Yeah.
He can't.
Exactly. And how he doesn't want to return home.
Yep, that
Yep.
too, and about the fact that he can't stomach returning home.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So, they end up, they kind of go past, and during this, right, there's trouble at home. By the way, there's a kind of a couple
lot of
scenes.
trouble.
Yeah, there's a couple scenes with Tom Holland's character, his son, Odysseus' son, and essentially there's a bunch of suitors that are.
Telemachus, that's his name.
Yeah, Telemachus. Yep. And the suitors are trying to usurp the throne because Odysseus has been gone for like 20 years at this point, right? So
yeah.
it's been 10 years where they were at the beach, and then there was, it's been a long time since they've been coming back. So
Many
20
more
years, Odysseus has been gone. It's been a long time,
So
and there's a queen and a
Telemachus was
son. You know what I mean?
baby
Like,
when Odysseus left.
yes, exactly.
Now he's almost
he's
of
a,
age.
yeah, he's a grown man pretty much. And so Robert Pattinson's character, Attenuous.
Is a
Yep,
jerk.
Attenuous. Yeah, and also what's the other guy? It is anyway. There's two
You mean like
characters.
the kind of guy who's always like talking to him.
Those are the suitors. Yeah.
Yeah. I never got his character's
Yeah.
name.
Where is he?
Oh, wait, there he is. You passed him.
Oh, did we?
Corey
Oh
Hawkins.
yeah.
character.
Corey Hawkins. Yeah.
Yeah, his guy's not named, but he's just
Yeah.
he's Antinous' best
Yeah, he's one
friend.
of the
and
other
they're just
suitors,
two
yeah.
terrible dudes.
Yeah, exactly. But they're essentially plotting to kill.
Yeah, they're
Um,
literally like they constantly
Telemachus.
antagonize Telemachus.
Yeah.
By going after like this blind old dude who's real close with Odysseus before he left.
Mhm.
Him, his poor old dog, which literally like.
The dog will not die until Odysseus comes
Yeah,
back.
like literally the blind
The
old
dog's
man is-
20.
Yeah, he's like, I've never seen a dog make 20. I'm pretty sure he's literally just doing this because he won't die until he sees Odysseus again.
It's a good dog.
Which
The goodest
oh
boy.
I forgot to look it up. So my one thing I'm gonna say with this movie, and hey, I may just not know my
Oh, yeah,
dogs,
go ahead.
but I swear they have a flashback when this dog is first introduced, old dog in the scene.
But they have a flashback to when Odysseus finds this dog as a puppy, and I swear the puppy that they have, grow into this dog is not the same breed as the dog we see as the old dog.
I don't know why you're so mad about that.
That's weird. It's weird.
It's
why is it not the same dog?
I don't know.
It doesn't have to be like the literal same dog, but why are they not even the same breed? I'm like, maybe like. I can see maybe I'm just wrong, but it's like those two do not even look like the same breed.
Yeah.
Like, is my dog knowledge that lacking?
I don't know.
Tell me what you guys think, but I swear that is not the same breed of dog.
Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, we got essentially there's a plot on Odysseus' son's life, right? The suitors are trying to kill the son because if they kill the son,
they're
then
constantly antagonizing the old
yeah.
man, kicking the dog, kicking the crap out of this poor dog.
Yep. They're baiting him. They're trying.
Yeah, exactly. They keep trying to get basically him to attack one of them, giving them an excuse to just end him right there.
Yeah, exactly. Because the son can't fight. I ain't going.
Yeah, he's not. He's not his father.
But they're trying to rage bait him essentially, so that he attacks them.
Him into giving up his life.
Exactly. And they're gonna kill him because he attacked them first. Whatever. Cool. So doesn't really work, right? And they almost got him, but the Penelope, his mom, comes out, who's the queen still. Is like, stop all this, leave, right? And they've been taking advantage of the castle for the past 8 years or whatever.
Yeah,
they've been coming in as
every
suitors,
suitor,
but they're just getting a free meal.
Exactly.
Yes.
They just come in, they sit in the kind of dining hall, and they all just eat and eat and eat, and just act total asses.
So they're just like sucking the castle dry at this point. They don't really respect the queen. They don't respect the queen's son. And
they
so
really don't respect them.
And so at this point, Telemachus is like, I gotta go find my dad.
They're barely following Zeus's law, like barely.
Yeah, exactly. But my dad's out there somewhere. I can feel that he's alive. And Telemachus says, I'm gonna go find him. So I gotta figure out. I'm gonna go to Sparta to essentially, get through John Barthol's character. Sorry, I forgot his name again. It is
Menelaus.
Menelaus. He's gonna go talk to Menelaus and be like, what happened to my dad? Like, you were home and you
were at Troy.
Why is my dad home? Exactly. You were at Troy. What happened to him? And so he goes over there. And there's a plot on his life as soon as he gets there as well. They're waiting for him at the
no, not yet. That was when he came back.
Was it?
Yeah, he was welcomed in. Welcome.
You're right. No, you're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
Yeah. It's actually pretty cool because I forget. They kind of went in wary. But no, John Berthol's character just welcomed him on in. He's like, "Hey, come on in. You're I know you like. I don't remember exactly.
You look like somebody. Yeah, you look like somebody I know. Yeah.
Yeah, he says like, you don't look like a beggar or anything. Come on up here, eat with me. And he's eating with the king and the queen here.
Yep, and that's how we get the scene with Menelaus
with
showing
the face that launched 500 ships, I
Hell of
suppose.
Troy. Yeah, exactly. So they have that whole conversation, and essentially Menelaus is like, I don't know anything. I don't know where your dad went. I heard the songs and stuff, but I don't know, man. He didn't follow us, and he's not here, so I don't know. So
tell him about how his brother got killed when he got home.
Yep, exactly. So the ore farmer. Yeah, but anyway, so. After that, he's like, okay, well, thanks for but he tells him stories of how great Odysseus was, right?
Yeah, he does tell him some pretty cool lore about just how awesome his dad was.
Telemachus doesn't he doesn't really
he doesn't
know
even know
father.
He knows nothing about his dad.
His father left when he was 1 year old, so
and he knows the songs, but he doesn't know from a person who was there, how crazy was he really? How cool was this guy? And so Menelaus just is like,
he glazes him a little bit. He glazes him a little bit.
I think it was him who even says your father was the smartest among us, one of the best of men and whatnot. Only he could pull this bow. I don't know if he mentions that or if that's established early on in the movie with Penelope.
It was established earlier. Yeah, but anyway,
I think Penelope
essentially he's just this guy's a tactician.
He basically lets him know your dad was one of one.
Yeah, and the best leader. You know what I mean? So he's like, well, he's probably out there somewhere. He's probably not dead.
Yeah, he even says I think he says himself I don't believe he's dead out there.
Yeah, exactly. So
but no clue where he's at.
It gives Telemachus hope.
Yep, and then he does tell him though, you're looking for your father. I don't think he's dead. However, he's not coming back if he hasn't come back by now. So he says, really, the only way is, you coming here to me. You were basically running from the problem. The problem is at home.
Yeah,
you need to solve that.
Exactly.
You have to go back there and become the king.
Yep. And I don't think that's a bad take. So he goes back home. He's on his way back home, and he stops at this island with some priests or whatever. And that is when the attempt on his life happens.
I believe, I think they were technically on the main land of Ithacus. I forget if it's Ithacus or Ichthus.
Ithacus, I think.
Yeah, Ithacus. They're on the mainland of Ithacus. Just haven't made it quite there yet.
Yeah.
And he thinks he's just stopping in at this cool little priest town or whatever. Goes on in. Now, wait.
Yeah, we'll get back to that later. But he's essentially on his way back.
Yeah, because that actually happens much later.
Yeah,
but so he's on he leaves this island without
he doesn't get chased off this island. He didn't pick that up from his dad.
Yeah, yeah. So he's on his way back home. Cool. All right. So we're back to Odysseus, right? And Odysseus is on his way. He's kind of like comes between a crossroads. There's this whirlpool that the oracle told him about before.
Yep.
And then there's also like this like passage on the right.
Yeah,
He intentionally knows that his men are pissed at him. They don't want to listen to him anymore because he's got a bunch of them killed, understandably. And so he's like, yeah, go for the whirlpool. We're gonna go through the whirlpool. And immediately,
Eurylochus is like, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah. He's like, we're gonna die. So let's not go through the whirlpool, and we'll take the passage on the right, the rock
psychology.
passage.
Did he invent reverse psychology?
Low key,
like historically?
Yeah, low key, genuinely. And this obviously the oracle told him that if they go through the secret passage, then 6 of his men are gonna die. But it's just Anyway, Odysseus just does not have the willpower to like make that order, so that's why he kind of used reverse psychology, so he didn't have to do that. Cool. So they go through this like side passage, and their boat gets messed up because they like cut through a couple of rocks, and the oars get broken and stuff like that. They're like basically floating in the water at this point.
All the oars on the right side of the boat are like bent to crap and kind of useless.
Yeah, because they literally barely squeeze through this like passage, right? But they make it, and Eurylochus is like, "Let's go." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no,
like,
everybody's
he's
celebrating.
happy.
They're like, "Dude, we made it."
Yep. And look to his right, and a dude just gets snatched up by a tentacle.
Like exactly. And like this happens to like 3 more guys, and like we don't even know what this thing looks like. It just keeps snatching people.
Yep.
I'm just
So
like,
they
what the hell?
Yeah, it's like literally just tentacles from the sky, and it's just yanking people off the ship. And it has 6 heads, so each head grabs a guy, and it's like, dang, 6
Finally
guys.
Finally,
are
gonna
gone.
look at this thing. These tentacles are mouths, so every guy that got snatched up, they just got like straight chomp. They were just wrapped in teeth, and now they're gone.
And Odysseus is just sitting there sad, bro. He's like, dang, man.
He's in so much
and then
pain.
Eurylochus is like, you knew. Like, he's
it's worse. It gets even worse. Like the distrust, because he turns, because he sees Odysseus is like, it's not shock.
He's like somber, yeah.
He's just somber because he couldn't change it.
Yeah.
And so, like he said, it's like, you knew this was gonna happen.
Yes.
And
he's like, yes, but you weren't going to listen to me. Even if I say go this way, you weren't going to listen anyway. So I chose reverse psychology, and you made the call, not me. So, it's you just kind of like, I made my peace with it, bro.
Reasonably, he keeps on pressing him. And then Odysseus is like, all right, because Eurylochus asked him not too long before the whirlpool, what were they trying to tell you? What was that prophecy about? And he wouldn't tell him yet.
Yeah.
Because in his head, he's like, I can still fight it.
Yeah.
He has now realized that, no, he can't.
Yeah, no.
So he says, all right, they told me that all of you are going to die.
Yep.
I can't save any one of you, but somehow I make it out of this.
Yep.
And he says, all of you would have died had we gone into that whirlpool. Hence why I told you go into the whirlpool, so you would not do that.
Exactly.
And he's like, oh, so only 6 of us died? And it's like,
yeah, it's better than all of us.
Yeah, that's
generally,
pretty much Odysseus' response, and our response is like, hey, you saved somebody.
Yeah, exactly. So they keep going through this area, and then what happens after that?
Yes. So the prophecy also mentioned that they would, after dealing with that whole thing, they would come to an island where there'd be some nice cattle.
And they're starving at this point. They're starving.
Like they haven't eaten.
None of these islands have provided any food. They're literally starving. Like,
yep. I'd say the last time they ate was that time they got turned into pigs, and I don't know if that counts.
Yeah, I don't know. That was like magic food, so I don't know.
Exactly. Like I imagine turning into a pig and turning back builds up an appetite.
Yeah, agreed.
So yeah, they're gonna go to this island and there's gonna be cows there and it's gonna be nice.
Yeah, they're stopping there for one day.
Cows.
They have food on the ship. They just gotta cook it. They have food on the ship. I guess they took some from that island, from the witch's island. So I'm assuming they have a little bit of food on the ship. Yeah, exactly. So there's some safe food. Yeah. So they have some food, but they just gotta cook it. Like, okay, we're just gonna.
They cannot kill the
they
cows
gotta repair
on
the
these
ship
islands.
too. They gotta repair the ship.
Cows.
They have to repair the ship too.
Yeah,
because the mast is all messed up from the tentacle dude.
Yeah,
from the tentacles and stuff.
The ship is all messed up.
So they got to repair the ship too. So it's like, okay, we got to stop somewhere. Cool. And the dude, there's like, don't stop on Apollo's island. You stop on Apollo's island, you're gonna eat the cows.
Your men will die because one of your men will kill a cow to eat. You don't kill Apollo's cows, they'll all die for it.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like, okay, well, we're not gonna eat the cows. They all swear by it, right? He makes them swear, I'm not going to eat a cow. He makes them all swear that they're not gonna eat a cow, so they live. Because if they eat the cow, the God's wrath will kill them all. It's like, okay, cool. We're not gonna eat the cow. We have our own food. We're just gonna stop at this island for one day, repair the ship, cook our food, and we'll leave. Well, they pull up to the island, and they're just repairing their ship, and they eat their food or whatever. They cook it, and they're like, okay, we'll leave when the winds change, because the winds are
the winds carried them to the
now.
island, so it was nice and easy to get there.
Yeah.
And then those winds do not stop.
Yeah, so the winds continually blow onto the island.
They are now trapped on this island by the winds.
Yes, exactly.
For God knows how long. I don't remember how long they said it was.
They're there for like weeks, I think.
Yeah, it'd been a very long time.
They run out of food.
Refused to change. Yep, they more than run out of food, and they were kind of sitting around even starving for a little while.
And the cows are literally just taunting them, bro.
Yeah, the cows actually on a daily basis, like the whole herd just approaches them and tries to get as close as possible. You get Odysseus getting like pissed off and throwing rocks at him to chase him away.
Yeah. It's like, bro, why? Anyway, And the only wildlife on this island are just those cows, by the way.
Yeah.
So anyway, dick moved by Apollo, but whatever.
No, seriously.
So yeah, they end up actually slaughtering one of the cows in the dead of night.
Odysseus wakes up one night to find literally his entire crew in some hole somewhere they thought out of his reach with a fire. They're all eating the cows, and Odysseus, he gives the funniest, most tragic line when he finds them.
Yeah.
He literally like looks down, and I think they said like, I think one of them said like, oh, we didn't think you'd notice or something like that.
Yeah.
And he stops and he says, did you think if you ate quietly the gods wouldn't notice? And he's just stone faced. He's so done.
Yeah, he's pissed, bro.
Like-
He's like, "You're all cooked. You're all cooked." That's what it is.
Literally.
And they I guess they can't. They rationalize. They're like, "Oh yeah, we'd rather drown than starve, though." You know what I mean? Like, I guess if we're gonna die, we'll die at sea, and when Poseidon's pissed. But
But it's
horrible,
the
by the way.
funniest
Horrible
thing.
take, by the way.
Yeah,
But anyway,
pretty bad take.
yeah.
But,
So as soon as that happens, the winds calm down and they can leave.
Exactly, like immediately, and they're like, okay, this is our only
Yep.
chance. We got to
Yep.
get out of here. But even before that, like Odysseus, he genuinely, I think if he wasn't fighting for these guys' lives, he probably would have like hit somebody because he just turns and walks away
Yeah, he's
after he
pissed,
says
he's
his
pissed,
line about
he's
the
pissed.
guys not noticing.
Yep.
And,
And
like-
Athena's with him, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, forgot to mention, like throughout this, Athena,
He's
is,
like-
like Zendaya Athena,
Yeah.
is just like. At almost all times, she just appears next to him, and she's just mugging this guy.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
she's
yeah.
just not happy
Shaking
with the
his
step
head.
he's
Yeah,
taken
yeah, exactly.
since Troy.
Yep.
This is also because Penelope actually gave him her Athena pin to carry with her, and basically that kind of came with the promise of you will come back to me. Do not let that pin go. Keep that pin; it will bring you back to me.
Yep.
But yeah, Odysseus has kind of had enough of his guys, and I forget, but like he's kind of like almost sulking and pouting and just frustrated with these guys because Eurylochus is trying to follow him and explain the guy's case.
Yeah.
And
He's like, I'm not trying to hear all that, bro.
yeah,
Like,
he's like,
get on the shit, bro. Come on, let's go.
literally, I forget what it was. At one point, he just was like, "Damn it!" and just like
Yeah.
said something about how stupid it
Yeah.
was. Or
He
whatever.
knows they're cooked at this point.
Yeah, he just
Their
kind of
fate is
accepts
sealed.
this.
It is what it is. So they get on the ship and they can finally. But this is by intention, by the way. The gods made sure that they
This was
essentially
all intentional.
the gods
on
were going to keep
whims.
them on the island until they ate a cow. That's just what it was. And then they were going to punish
Which
them.
like that's kind of cheating at
corny,
that point.
but whatever. Yeah.
But
So-
like I guess the legitimate things they're being punished for was still Troy the Cyclops.
Yep.
There was one more, wasn't there?
I don't know. It was just
Point is they've already made the gods angry enough, but now the gods are just kind
oh,
of
cutting the
cheating.
head of the statue and everything.
Yeah, cutting the head
Anyway.
of the Athena staff
yeah.
and that poor girl.
Yep.
But now the gods are just they're
Yeah.
just being jerks about
Yeah,
it. Like,
exactly.
This one's not
Yeah.
exactly
Yeah.
fair.
So, and breaking the law of Zeus, like you know what I mean. That was the main thing, really. They're
Yeah,
breaking
that was
the law
really
of
the
Zeus,
important
and
one.
they are there's like this theme of like the water people that are breaking the law of Zeus.
Yeah, because the whole movie, everywhere they go, everyone's got this boogeyman story. Even in Ithaca, people
Yeah.
are hearing about it. They're saying,
Like, someone's like ruining the world. Like,
yeah, they're saying like these people from the sea they're coming everywhere. They are laying siege to all places, and no one is safe. They will eventually come for you.
Yep. And they have no laws. They just like do
They're
whatever
lawless
they want.
people. They don't know
Yes,
who these people
exactly,
are or where they
exactly.
come from. They're
Yes.
just people from the sea.
And it turns out that Odysseus' crew is the water people. You know what I'm saying?
They're the people.
They're
from the
like
sea.
the stories are the metaphor for them. You know what I mean? Essentially, they've broken the law of Zeus by doing what they did at Troy,
Yep.
and they've
and they
ruined the
keep
world.
on
Essentially,
sailing places. So yeah, they're coming
yeah,
from the sea.
they've
That's
broken
them.
the veil of trust between men. That's just what it is. So yep, and they get off the island, right, and they know they're cooked at this point, right? Odysseus knows they're cooked, and essentially by getting
They
on
get
this
the
boat,
most
they
violent
are now at the
storm
behest of Zeus
ever.
and Poseidon.
Like literally like constant lightning around them. They're getting actually like
Yeah, the ship
body
gets
slammed.
destroyed.
They're getting like repeatedly elbow bombed with waves, basically.
Yep, exactly.
Um,
The ship
and-
breaks in half.
yeah, it reached the crescendo when a bolt of lightning genuinely strikes the middle of the
Yep.
ship, splitting it in half.
Yep.
Well,
Odysseus
not
is
quite
on
in
one
half.
side.
Yeah, literally, Odysseus on one side, everyone else on the other side.
Yep, and they just
They are going probably straight to Hades.
Yeah.
Odysseus goes
Yeah.
to this island that he washes up on, and we haven't mentioned, but up to this point in the movie, who's giving us some of the Odysseus flashbacks is actually Odysseus himself,
Yep.
because he's on that stupor we mentioned earlier on this island
Yeah.
with Calypso.
Yeah. So he
who's
washes
been-
up on this island. And he's in a
Mhm.
stupor essentially. He doesn't remember what happens.
Yep.
And Calypso gives him these white
yeah,
lotus
she's been
flowers.
feeding him lotus flowers, which it actually turns
Makes
out to be
you not
revealed around
remember.
this time. Around this time in the movie, they have been making him forget because he was just like such a wreck
Yeah.
when he was found
Yeah.
that she decided this would be good for him.
Yep.
She,
And he's
like,
been
nursed
on
him.
this island for 8 years.
Yep.
Good
Yeah, so
lord.
Odysseus started this movie with like full, black hair, obviously, and now he's like mostly gray at this point.
Yeah, he's old.
Yeah, he's got that.
Yeah, he's an older man. And she loved him. She loved him.
Yeah, no, it's actually crazy. They like genuinely fell in love.
Yeah,
During
she
their
saved his
time there.
life. She pulled him off the broken pieces of the boat.
Nursed him back
And
to health.
nursed him
and all
back to
that.
health, and he's been
And
happy
dude's
with
still
her for
in
8
great
years.
shape.
Yeah, but
she did a good
she can
job.
but she can tell that he's being pulled by something. His
Yeah,
heart
because
is
like she
somewhere
catches
else.
him randomly like trying to reassemble something from the pieces of his ship
Yep,
because those
yep,
are still
yep.
like washed up on
Yep.
the beach.
Even though like she's resetting his memory with this White Lotus, but she knows that he's not ready to go home yet, and that's
Because
the reason
he
that
eats
she
it
she
so
keeps on.
readily.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
When you catch him eating this White Lotus, it looks like the guy's
He's
eating that food with
feigning
the
it, bro.
wish.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
He's,
Yeah. He does
loves
not
this
want
stuff.
to remember anything. This is
Yeah,
all
deep
very
down, he
traumatizing.
really
for him.
doesn't.
Yes, he doesn't want to go home. He doesn't want to face essentially what home looks like. His wife, his kid, how old they've gotten at this
And deep
point, how
down-
long he's gone. Yeah, it's like
and again, deep down, it's also it later is revealed, but it's like the deepest part of it. Actually, the real core of what he cannot stand to face is what he is now that he's broken the laws.
yes,
Zeus.
yes.
He can't-
He's the Oppenheimer of his time.
Yeah,
I'm
he
not gonna lie.
doesn't
He's
wanna-
destroyed the world.
Exactly. Like now that now that nothing in the world is sacred, he doesn't want to be part of it anymore. He would rather just be anywhere but home because he doesn't want to see his home without those laws.
Yeah, exactly.
Without that order.
But at this point, you get the 8-year time skip, and he's at the point where he wants to remember now, right? He gets to the point where he tells Calypso, he's like, yeah, it's time for me to go home. You know what I mean? I have a wife somewhere. I have kids. I have men. What happened to the man? You know what I mean? And that's kind of what we get back to him remembering. But yeah,
he's kind of slowly been
yeah.
She's at one point she told him not to eat the lotus stuff. At another point, he's like, "Why do you keep feeding it to me?" But long story short, he's kind of starting to pick up memory, but he's been eating that stuff less.
Yep.
And all the trauma's coming back.
Yep. And now he's ready to go home. So
Gotta go
he essentially starts heading home on this little raft.
She basically tells him like how to do this now because Odysseus kind of all this time, what all this kind of stemmed from was internally that he feels like he's kind of got a greater responsibility / say over things than even the gods in his own mind.
Yeah.
That's how much kind of control he felt he had over his life in the world, which, I mean, look at who he is, of course.
Yeah, he's him. I'm not going to lie.
It makes sense he feels that way.
He's him.
Because, throughout the movies, like, he constantly does say things like, it's funny, actually. It's really cool. Telemachus has this saying that he gives to anyone who says something smart. He's like, you've got wise eyes. And then he immediately is like, Athena's eyes. And, kind of in contrast, Odysseus has this thing where if someone, praises someone and they compare them to a god, he says, don't look for gods in people, you'll be disappointed, which kind of actually winds up being a reflection upon himself. Yeah,
he also reiterates throughout the film that gods speak in ways that no one can understand.
Yeah, and he's like really critical of that.
Yeah.
And it's funny how different characters kind of respond because first Calypso is even like, oh, well, you understand like the birds flying, all this and that. Or no, something like that to that effect.
Yeah.
Athena herself actually kind of has her own counter argument to it later on, which is cool. But he's actually a big critic on the gods. Like when people keep saying, "Oh, the gods wrath this, the gods this and that," he's like, "No, like I decide these things." Or he's like, "Oh, the gods don't this and that." Like again, they're vague or whatever. Like
Greek
how you
gods
even know?
Super suck in the lore. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I don't like honestly. If you're gonna hate any set of guys, it would be those guys.
Yeah, they suck real bad.
But they're petty enough that it's not worth hating them because they'll actually throw a bolt of lightning directly at your boat
and kill your whole crew right in front of you.
Kill everyone you know.
Womp womp, hold that. But anyway, apparently Poseidon's not mad at him anymore because he just
basically
goes
once
on this
he
raft.
lets go of this idea that he has more responsibility over his fate than the gods, and he actually just kind of accepts that he's not quite in control of his life, then literally like Calypso has him lay on his raft and just go.
Yep.
And the water actually carries him home.
Yep.
Now he doesn't make it seamlessly. His raft actually quickly gets totaled, but
Yep.
his body still makes it.
Yep.
So
he just accepted it. He's like, all right, bro.
He just raw dog the ocean.
Yeah, exactly. So he goes back home. He washes up ashore of Ithacus, and
Athena is there to greet him actually.
Or Ithaca, sorry. But and Athena's there, and he's like, all right, well, I'm gonna take heed. And
she's not angry at him anymore. She's not scowling now.
Yeah, but essentially he took the advice to not go to your house and just show up like you're a hero.
Yeah, he pretty
Shows
much
up as
just
a begger.
throws together a bunch of like shawl and crap like that, and he's just walking around like
Very
like
incognito.
imagine like Yoda with the hood over.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
he's
yeah,
just
yeah.
moving around like that, barely
Very
even showing his
incognito.
face.
Yeah.
He refuses to say who he is at first. Eventually, he actually is like, oh, and this was so cool. He just says, oh, I was with Odysseus. I went to fight in the Trojan War, and as time goes on, when people really start asking like, who are you? What give us a name? He says he's Sinon.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Which is he's way too old to be Sinon, but no one remembers Sinon, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but no one knows Sinon, so it doesn't matter, unfortunately. But it's really cool though.
Yeah, it is. And essentially,
especially later.
Yeah. So he's like, all right, well, I need to find my son, and I need to find my wife, and like figure out what's going on. So he kind of like, he kind of light launches it, soft launches it.
Exactly. It's like exactly like he he throws out some implications. Like anybody who knew him closely, he'll say like he kind of makes those kind of remarks a character does.
He
when
never
they're
shows his
trying.
face. So
Yeah,
they
he
don't
doesn't
know.
show his
You
face.
can't see him.
Except for to his blind old, that
Who
person
can't see
whose
him
dog
anyway.
keeps getting
Yeah.
kicked. Exactly. He shows his face to him because he's blind. But he does those kind of remarks that a character does when they're trying not to reveal who they are, but like they're having those enlightening conversations with people.
Yeah.
Because like he basically asks this guy he starts asking him about Odysseus, and he's surprised at how positively this guy speaks of him, knowing that he's not around. And so he asks like, "Oh, like you loved Odysseus that much?" And I forget exactly what he said back.
He was essentially saying like, oh yeah, Odysseus is
some
like the
good remarks
best
there.
warrior, the best person. I would die for him. Like I'd follow him. He's a man worthy of following. You know what I mean? And he's like, oh well, I guess if Odysseus comes back, like what would happen?
Yeah, that's what he says. He's like, yeah, exactly. If he comes back, what would happen and whatnot.
Mhm.
Basically, the guy tells him, the suitors, it's all bad. Even if Odysseus came back, I'd fear for his safety and
Yeah,
whatnot.
exactly.
And as he's like about to leave this blind guy's house because things have gotten bad. They killed all the blind guy's animals. He had a bunch of animals. They killed them. They even killed somebody's like farm hands.
Yeah, the people that are out for his son have.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then there's gonna be.
There's a group that are out for his son. So the
bunch of
suitors have
suitors.
essentially hired like a hitman group
Yep.
to get rid of the son because if that son's gone, then they can have kids with Penelope, who is the queen, and
Yeah.
then they can have their own throne and their own lineage and everything using Penelope. So that's their plan. They want to get rid of the son because he's the only thing standing in between them and the throne. So they want to get rid of the son, and he learns of this. Odysseus learns of this.
Yep. He knows this now.
And so he goes to find his son. He leaves and he goes to find his son.
He tells this guy this cool
Yeah.
line. He's like, Odysseus will be back soon.
Yeah.
And
And,
then
he's like,
he
oh,
dips.
with an army? He's like, oh no, with vengeance.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It was cool. The dude was like, he'll be back. With an army, no. With vengeance. And then I think he said
all
like,
of it.
Yeah, he said all of it. He's gonna be back with everything.
Yeah. He's back. He's coming back putting BTA.
It's cool. It's like imagine
Aura, holy aura, by the way.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
This dude's aura is unmatched. Like I've never seen such a cool homeless guy.
Yeah.
But basically imagine like how Batman comes back at the end of The Dark Knight Rises to Gotham. Imagine that, except Batman explicitly came in pretending to be a homeless guy. Like he's just dressed like a homeless guy. But
Yep.
this is actually prime Batman.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly what he's doing here.
Yeah. So Odysseus goes and he meets his son. And his son doesn't recognize him, obviously, because his son was 1 year old
Never knew the guy.
when he left. Yeah, I never knew him. So, but his son has heard about Odysseus, but from the blind guy.
Yeah.
And he essentially like kind of knows, and he knows about the dog as well.
Mhm.
He knows that the dog is waiting to die before.
see him.
Yeah. The dog will not die until
Postponing
Odysseus
his
comes
own
back.
death.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm gonna do
And
that.
and Odysseus comes up to this dog that's laying outside that everyone's kind of discarded, and
Yeah, they treat this dog like
Odysseus
crap.
walks up to the dog and he
And
kind
he
of
literally
touches
like
it.
he like
He's
kind
like,
of
"I'm here."
brings his hand to him, and it's beautiful,
such
but
a
it's
nice-
sad.
yeah.
You can see the dog's tail actually like starts to like tremor and
Yeah,
wag,
yeah.
and then the dog just passes on, and it's
Yep,
like,
yep.
oh my goodness.
yep.
And Odysseus just like that. You just see him lock in
Yeah.
a little bit more at that
Yep.
moment. Like,
And
all
Telemachus
right.
sees this.
Yeah,
He's
Telemachus
like,
sees
"Oh,
this, and
you're
he
my
realizes,
dad."
yeah,
Like-
he's like, it's you.
Yeah,
It's
you're
been you all
Odysseus.
this time.
Yeah, exactly. And so they kind of hatch this plan, and they're gonna get all the suitors together in the manor, which isn't hard because
gonna
they be chilling it all the time
Yeah,
apparently.
They insist on
Yeah,
being
yeah,
there.
and they're gonna hold this big test, whatever, cool.
Mhm.
But they're gonna hold a feast essentially, and
the
Odysseus
conclusion
wants to
is-
kind of see who these guys are, who the suitors are, what they're about,
Yeah,
and so
it's
he
cool.
kind of
He
soft
basically-
launches it. And
Yeah,
he has like a
says
feast.
basically Telemachus of course wants his dad to come on back in, proclaim himself, just take back over. But Odysseus instead is like, oh no, you learn the most about a man when you're beneath him.
Yes.
So he goes in as this beggar, and he intends to just
See what
basically
kind of man they are,
enact the law of Zeus in the kind of literal
Yeah,
form
yeah,
of like,
exactly.
you don't know, he could be
Yes.
a beggar.
Yes, exactly.
And there you go, he's a beggar, but you don't know.
Yep, exactly. So he walks in there, and Robert Pattinson's character is just bullying him. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
the
he
suitors,
sucks.
all the suitors are just basically bullying him. He goes in, he asks for a little morsel of food or whatever. By the way, they're at a feast, so it's like
They're
there's
literally
a
at
lot of food to
feast.
go
There's-
around.
There's no shortage of
Yeah,
food.
he's literally walking around. He's like, "Oh, can I get like a little bit of food?" He's like, "Nope, get on
Dude
plate
knocks
liquor."
his bowl over,
Yeah,
spits
yeah.
the food that's currently in his mouth into his bowl.
Yeah. They start clowning him basically.
Genuinely
Yeah,
disgusting.
yeah, exactly. And he's
I
like,
think he even gets he gets hit several times.
Yeah. They literally start beating him up and stuff like that. He's like, "All right, well, I know what kind of man you are."
Exactly.
and he's reminded.
Odysseus
of
will
yeah,
remember this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, literally. And they're reminded of the law of Zeus as well, and they completely disregard
Yeah, actually, I forget who brought it up.
it. It was the wife, I believe.
Yeah, the wife brings up the law of
Penelope. Yeah.
Or no, I don't think
Or the-
so.
or
Yeah,
the-
because it was someone random it was someone that Antinous felt like he could talk back to.
Yeah.
So someone brings up the law of Zeus, and Antinous literally doesn't get the concept because he's like, do you think Zeus is some beggar? And it's like, that's
the whole point of
saying.
this. Yeah, exactly.
You don't know.
Yeah.
He's Zeus. He can shapeshift.
Yeah, he's like.
But basically he says that, and Odysseus does something that's awesome. He pulls out the lot that Sinon's had him holding.
Yeah.
Because Antinous basically screwed Sinon with this, and he basically, Antinous turns to him and he's like, "What? Is there something you want from me now?" Thinking, he's gonna ask him
I
for
got
something
for you.
Yeah, he says, "No, I have something for you."
Yep.
And Antinous is like, "What could you possibly have that I would want?"
Yeah, what could
And
Odysseus the beggar have? Yeah, but he doesn't know it's Odysseus.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, "What could you have as a beggar that I could want?" And he's like, "Oh, not something you want. This is just yours."
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he
yeah.
sits down the lot.
Yeah, yeah. That he was that he pulled originally. That he was supposed to
The
go to
very
the war.
specific
It
lot.
reminds him that he dodged the draft. Yeah.
Man, and again,
He
this
gets
same
pissed. He
guy,
gets so pissed.
all movie, everyone who will listen, he says, "I'd have gone to that battle in Troy if he'd
Cap,
only have let me."
by the way. Cope Sahor. I don't hear that.
He's a fraud.
Literally fraud watch, bro. But yeah,
He's
he was
actually-
not trying to go to that
He's
war, bro.
LARPing being
Yeah,
a
he
soldier.
literally paid that kid off to go to the war in his place, bro. He was not trying to go to
Mind
the
you,
war.
he was actually older than this
Yeah,
kid.
yeah, and Odysseus knows the truth, right?
Yep.
So it's like,
Odysseus knows.
it essentially reminds him of the truth that he's a coward. He is literally a coward
Yep.
by nature.
And this does not sit well with him. Like, Odysseus basically walks
He gets
away
so
after this.
pissed, bro.
He does his mic
He
drop
throws a
moment.
chair at him, bro.
Yeah, he throws a chair at this dude, and Odysseus freaking eats it.
Yeah, he eats
man.
a chair. Yeah,
Like, there's several times throughout this movie, Odysseus just straight up eats a hit,
Yep.
and it's just incredible.
Genuinely. Yeah, and so the party's over, right? The son essentially, Telemachus.
Yep.
Yeah, he was like, all right, yeah, this is done. We're not
Yeah,
gonna be beating
Telemachus
up
basically
beggars,
calls
right?
him. He says, like,
Yeah.
enough, stop
Yeah,
it, the feast's
yeah,
over,
yeah.
get out of my house.
Exactly. And then Penelope wants to speak with the beggar. She doesn't know who it
Oh,
is.
man, and
It's
this was
Odysseus,
cool.
obviously, it's her husband. But she doesn't know this, so she wants to speak to him at the end of the party. So, everyone gets out or whatever, and he's sitting down. And then she said, all right, come on, we're going to talk. So she goes back to her room, and he's kind of like in front of the door or whatever,
And
like
let me
the double
preface,
door.
this conversation is genuinely amazing.
It's
It's
so
one of
peak,
the best
bro.
parts of the movie.
Yeah.
Because this is when, like a lot of the stuff we're giving away about Odysseus is really, like, kind of neatly wrapped up and kind of layered under things throughout the movie. And this is when it all kind of slowly comes unfurling out. And it's just amazing. Like, they kind of run back through the flashbacks we've seen of him so far. But now they're basically revealing different shots of things that kind of weren't shown. So, like, a lot of shots have him, like, looking at stuff that finally we get to see exactly what he was looking at in that moment. So, like, there's this shot they kept coming back to of him kind of walking through Troy,
Yeah.
looking up at something, and it was literally just like a house in Troy just being burned and just
Yeah.
collapsed for
Yeah.
no reason at all, to
Yeah.
no avail.
Yeah.
He's
He's essentially he's explaining to his wife the amount of destruction that he feels he caused,
Exactly.
and how he feels like he has destroyed the world and all the
Yeah.
trust between men in this, because they used to have kind of order, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Before the Battle of Troy, there was order between men, and there was a bunch of different cities that all traded with each other. There was commerce, there was
Yep.
and
And that
now
has
all
since
that's
broken
gone
down.
because of this battle, and it was because of him. The Battle of Troy was successful because of Odysseus, and he feels like because he disregarded the law of Zeus, and he's enabled this behavior,
Yep.
that it's completely destroyed. Essentially, the
And it's
Bronze
in-
Age. The Bronze Age is over now
Mhm.
because of him. You know,
There's
what I
a bunch of really cool revelations in this. So, like, this is when Odysseus actually comes out and says it, because the whole movie they keep on saying these men from the sea, these people from the sea, they're coming for us all. This is when Odysseus actually reveals he's like, we're the people from the sea. Like,
Yeah.
it's just a conclusion
mean?
that he
well,
reaches.
Athena reveals that to him.
Oh,
and then,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh
then
man,
he kinda
that was another cool
comes to that
thing.
realization.
There's so many things.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that happens. But to start, like, Odysseus flashes back to the night of Troy, and it's like basically where the retelling of it usually ended in all kind of prior instances is, Agamemnon comes in through the door. Everyone starts, all the soldiers rush into Troy. And because they're the coolest people here, Agamemnon and Odysseus just kind of are slow walking. But it's revealed in the shot, like, Agamemnon is genuinely just doing like Darth Vader would in a hallway full of stormtroopers. He's actually just marching down just to get to where he needs to go. Odysseus is walking slowly through because he's taking in everything.
Mm-hmm.
He is realizing the carnage that he's
Yeah,
unleashed.
yeah.
Like, he's barely really even registering what's happening around him physically, and just looking at, like, the destruction he's causing.
And
Random
innocents
people
dying.
random people being snatched out of their homes and killed for no reason. Stuff just being blown up and lit on fire for the sake of it.
Yep.
Like, at one point, he's actually so, like, taken with this stuff that a random, like, soldier of Troy actually runs up and almost, like, gets the better of him.
Yeah.
One of them he just kills. The other one
Eurylochus saves him.
Yeah, Eurylochus. Yeah, the next one knocks him down onto some stairs. Eurylochus actually comes up behind him, kills this guy, and saves him.
Mm-hmm.
And here's where we kind of get to another really cool shot that kind of has been used throughout the movie. It's the moment that Eurylochus actually saved Odysseus. He's down on some stairs, like looking up at something. And this shot, genuinely, every time they flash back to the night of Troy, that shot shows up. And I'm just like, what is he looking at?
Yeah.
And it's pretty much when the realization is made, because around this point, Athena's ghost kind of shows up next to him again. And this time she's crying. She's just looking him in the eyes and crying while he's kind of hiding his face from his wife and just retelling basically what's become of him.
Yep.
And she's crying. And at one point during it, because he's realizing what she means now, he actually holds out his hand towards Athena and she actually takes his hand.
Yeah.
Because he's actually finally kind of coming back
He
reconcile with
it,
the gods and himself and what's happened. And this is where he reaches, he kind of puts to words, we are the men of the sea. That's what we were. That's what we became. I did this. I've destroyed our Bronze Age. I broke the laws that governed men. Because up to this point, he was telling her basically like Odysseus is alive. He'll come back. But now he's saying like, what if the Odysseus you knew can't come back? What if Odysseus could come back, but he won't because of what he's done? What if he can't stand to face himself and you and his home after all of that? And that's when the whole beautiful emotional sequence of Zendaya's ghost appearing next to him and him holding her hand.
Yeah, and the wife kind of understands this, but she doesn't believe it's him.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
she doesn't realize this is her husband quite yet, but she also is kind of grappling with that idea herself. And so in doing this, she reaches the conclusion of, all right, I'm ending this whole farce because this has been wearing on her bad.
For 8 years.
For 8 years.
Well, 20 years, really.
And she's been getting tired of it.
20 years.
If you thought Telemachus was tired of this, no, she is tired of this.
Yeah.
Because basically
She's been fending off these suitors for 20 years,
it's
bro.
Been aggravating. And one of the kind of main defenses she's used was she hadn't yet finished Odysseus' burial cloth.
Yeah, the burial cloth,
Now, Antinous actually noticed about halfway through the movie that every night after all the work she'd do on it throughout the day, she would actually go and unravel the whole thing to kind of keep setting it back. And no one was supposed to know that, but he did. So it was kind of like, okay, that was her kind of sign that this is getting to a point that I can't keep staving this off. So yeah, she reaches her conclusion.
Tournament.
Yeah, she decides that, you know what, it's being done. The next day, basically every single suitor will be there, and they will hold this trial. All weapons are to be left, not in here.
Upstairs.
Yep, exactly. The family, the kind of their castle's weapons will all be, housed up in a safe upstairs, which she doesn't tell them. But all of their weapons are to not be brought here, and yeah, it's gonna be done. She will decide. One of them will marry her. Yeah.
And there's this old thing that Odysseus used to do when he was king, and he essentially he'd string his bow, and he was the only one that could string that bow.
It's like King Arthur's sword. It's his Mjolnir.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
all of that.
Yep.
Basically, no one else is able to string Odysseus' bow. Only he is capable of that.
Exactly. And that's made very clear in the beginning of the movie. And then he shoots it through these axes, like 20 sets of axes.
He shot it through like 12 sets of axes or something like that.
They're
to
like
hit
tied
a perfect
together.
bullseye. It was
it's like
amazing.
a hole like this big, literally.
And this gets the justification to all the ridiculous skill shots he hits throughout this movie. I don't think we ever see Odysseus miss an arrow on anything.
No, he was hitting dimes.
And every one he hits is a kill shot too.
Exactly. So it's like, she's like, okay, we're gonna have this tournament. Essentially, do what he did. If you want to be my husband, you have to do exactly what he did.
You have to unstring his bow, shoot it through those axes, hit that bullseye, and you win.
Yeah, exactly.
You win.
And then I'm yours, right? And so they come through. It's futile. None of them can do it.
Not
obviously.
one person there.
Yep.
I don't believe. No, I think Tom's character even tries. Like you limit.
No, he didn't. He didn't.
Oh no, he tried earlier in the movie.
Yeah,
because
he couldn't earlier. Yeah,
he even
in private.
I think he was even asking someone like, "How did he do this?"
Yeah.
But no one is able to do that. Odysseus and his bow are simply built different.
Yeah, exactly.
Now Odysseus the beggar is actually sitting in on this scene.
Yeah,
in
he's
the background. Yeah, there's like him and a few other beggars, ironically.
So all the suitors are trying, they're failing, obviously.
Every single one. Antinous makes a point.
Is like, I'm cool off it, bro.
He makes a point not to until like the very last moment when he's forced to.
Yeah.
He also cannot string the bow.
He didn't even go for it. Remember, he said, "Oh, I'm just gonna."
Oh yeah, he gave up. Even
try,
then.
bro.
He never tried. Yeah, he never tried. But the guy who's always with him, this other jerk, is like, oh, why don't we try this and that? Basically, he tries the Tony Stark. Oh, can you put Mjolnir in an elevator? I'm sure it's a leverage thing. Putting on the gauntlet.
Yeah.
He tries to outsmart the problem. Doesn't work.
Nope.
You simply have to be him.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And so the beggar's like, oh yeah, I want to try, and then I start laughing at him because like everyone's already tried.
Even the other beggars are laughing.
Yeah. All the suitors have already tried. They're locked in this room, by the way. And
Yeah,
so,
everyone is locked in this room.
Mhm,
They're literally like no one can
no one leaves
until
until the trial's over. Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. And so they start laughing at him because he's the only person that hasn't tried, but still, he's not gonna do it. It's a baker, right? He's a random dude.
Mhm.
And so he walks up and they start laughing at him.
And
He
this is
tries.
where
He fails for his.
maximizes
Yeah.
his aura.
Yeah,
He literally
he fails at
fake
first.
fails.
He fake fails. Yeah, and they start laughing at him. Oh, plate liquor, and then he actually
And
strings
then
the
he
boat,
just-
and then it's just silence,
The
bro.
coolest thing is because, oh my God, Penelope was waiting for him to succeed. She was holding out the hope that he would succeed because she's realizing this guy knows too much about my husband. And he fails. He fake fails. And so she turns and
Starts
just
walking
walks
away,
away
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of defeated.
Yeah,
Um,
it's like, dang, he really is dead then, huh?
and not only does he string it, but before he fires, he does his little pluck,
Yep.
and she just stops, and she starts turning around like, "Oh God, it's
Yeah,
him!"
yeah,
And yeah, he hits the shot because of course he does. He's Odysseus.
yeah, yeah.
And
He started, bro, dude. The one of the suitors is like, "You're Odysseus." Actually gets cooked, bro.
Yeah, one guy says, "You're Odysseus." He doesn't get to finish the line. He dies to an
Dies.
arrow shot into him before he can
Right
finish
to
the
his
line.
throat, bro. Odysseus on slime time, bro. He starts airing
He
out the
just-
function,
he
bro.
actually is taking a bow and arrow and
Yes,
just starts lining
yes,
people up,
yes. And
hitting
they're
one
all
after
locked in
another.
here with him. There's
And
no way.
Tenuous instantly runs to the farthest like corner of the room, hides behind this pillar.
Yeah, he's a
and
coward.
he's
He's
literally
literally a
like
coward.
trying to make call outs to get
Yeah,
someone
yeah,
to do
yeah, yeah.
something
He's
about
telling everyone else to do
Odysseus.
stuff. Yeah.
Like, what a loser.
Yeah, exactly. And so he tells Tenuous tells one of his guys to go upstairs and get the weapons.
Yeah, because one guy was basically eavesdropping when the order was given to hide
Yeah,
their
yeah, yeah.
personal weapons upstairs. So this guy runs up there, and the lengths this
blind guy
goes
locks
to-
him in
Yeah, the
there.
blind guy locks him in there. So it's like, hi, you're not gonna get those weapons back down. And Odysseus is just continuing to just boom, boom.
Yeah, he's
boom,
literally
shoot with
whacking
no
them,
issue.
bro. They can't hang.
A couple of guys get it in their head. They're gonna run up and take the
They get
bow
whacked.
from him. They get destroyed. They either get shot in close range or beaten down.
Yep, yep.
Someone, I think, didn't he use the bow to like kill somebody
Yep,
in melee?
yep. Literally.
Now this guy,
Yeah.
the guy who's locked up in the weapons vault gets so, I don't know why this is this serious to him. He grabs like an axe or a hammer and he starts bashing the floor so
Yeah,
he can make a hole to drop
the weapons
through.
are upstairs, so he's bashing the floor to drop weapons down into the room to help, because
Yeah.
they're just gonna all die to
And,
Odysseus if he doesn't.
Yeah, Odysseus is literally padding his KD.
Yeah.
Telemachus is like
Yeah.
literally not sure what to
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
He sees some
He
guys
runs
trying-
upstairs. Yeah, it
Yeah.
follows the guy
You
upstairs.
see some guys try and jump Odysseus. Odysseus tells them stay out of it because whoever kills all these guys, they will have
They wanna
violated.
kill Telemachus as well,
Exactly. They'll be exiled and it'll give them an excuse to kill Telemachus.
Yep.
So Odysseus basically plans to bite this bullet and be exiled for it.
Yep.
But Telemachus starts to see that hole forming in the ceiling, so he runs up after this guy, and basically Telemachus has to fight this guy.
Yeah,
To stop
one
him
goon.
from throwing all these. Yeah, one dude. He has to 1v1. His father is literally in a 1v60 downstairs.
Yeah.
And Telemachus, probably at least 100 guys.
Yeah,
in there.
yeah,
I
it
kid
was
you
a lot
not.
of guys.
Like, there
It
was
a lot
too
of
many
Yeah,
guys.
yeah, it was actually too many.
Telemachus has to win this 1v1 to stop this guy throwing weapons down there.
Shields, spears, weapons, all that, bro.
No, actually, this guy basically. There's like 3 rounds of this fight. The first going, it looks like he runs in, dude immediately snatches a spear and points it at him. So he's like, okay, look.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he pretty much he's like kind of kicking. He kicks a couple of swords down.
Yep.
So some guys grab these swords. Odysseus immediately starts squabbling with the guys with the swords, beats the crap out of one, takes a sword,
Yep.
kills the other guy.
Yep.
So now Odysseus has a
Yeah,
sword.
yeah,
So
exactly,
more people are
exactly.
dying to that.
Exactly. He's nicer with a sword than he is with a bow, bro.
No, he's nuts. He's
Yeah,
nuts
he's
with a
nice,
sword. He's
he's
nuts
nice.
with a bow. It
He's
doesn't
nice.
matter, bro.
Yeah.
He'll beat you.
He's just nice.
Telemachus and this guy upstairs are fighting. I think Telemachus.
Yeah, so the
he
guy
gets the
dropping
spear from
weapons
him.
down the
Yeah,
floor.
dude, like,
Telemachus
drops-
is trying to stop him, so he's like,
Mhm.
literally trying to, he's losing, bro. I'm not gonna, he's losing,
Like
bro.
there's like 3 rounds of this, and Telemachus never quite gets the edge.
Yeah.
So he gets around the spear. I think he either knocked it out of his hands or he might have broken it. But basically, gets him away from the spear. They're going back and forth. The guy stabs Telemachus and rocks him.
Yeah.
Knocks him across the room.
Yeah.
He throws some spears down. So Odysseus is cutting some people up. Here comes some guys with spears. He's like dodging their spears.
Yeah.
He like gets pinned up against a pillar.
Yeah, he's
Barely
getting
dodged a couple
stabbed
of
and
stabs.
shot with arrows, dude.
Yeah.
He,
Oh
like,
my
he's
God.
not like exactly like having a good time.
No,
Like,
he's
there's
not.
just
He's
too
having a
many
rough
of them.
time.
There's
He's
just too many of
winning.
them. Yeah, he's winning.
But he's taking damage.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's
he
like
is, he is.
it's only a matter of time before
Yep.
it gets worse.
Yep.
So he's doing that. He kills one guy, gets his spear, starts using that spear, keeps the sword that he's going to use for later. Cuts back to Telemachus. He has now by this hole with this guy. He's made it towards the objective. He manages to get like an axe or something, I think. Breaks the spear the guy has. He knocks him over a table. The guy spins back around the table. Hits Telemachus another time. I think he might have even gotten another stab or something.
Yeah.
Knocks Telemachus back one more time. Now he's throwing some shields down.
Yeah.
And at this point, I'm really just like,
All right, buddy.
All right, the
you gotta
first
win.
time I get it.
You gotta
The
win your
second time was
1v1,
a bit
bro.
of a problem.
Please.
This is one regular goon. Please, you like, and it's not like Telemachus is like some pacifist. Like he at the
He's
beginning
been
of the
taught
movie.
how to fight.
Yeah, he was training at the beginning of the movie. Like he literally one of the guys who's with him through most of the movie until he dies in this ambush that was launched on him.
Yeah.
His name is Mentor. He was teaching him how to fight, and then that blind old guy was actually also coaching Telemachus on how to fight.
So he's
while
got
sparring
mentors,
him.
bro.
Like
He's just sorry, bro.
He's being trained to be a soldier. He's just
He's
not
sorry,
like
bro.
that, bro.
I ain't gonna lie. For Odysseus to be his dad, bro, he stinks at fighting.
And then
bro.
when you
It's
consider
kinda
that his
crazy.
father is one of the most dangerous men in all of Greece,
John Wick
it's
of Greece, bro.
genuinely, You're genuinely miserable.
Yeah,
I
it's
can't
insane.
lie.
It's insane. But yeah.
So
anyway.
yeah, basically every variety of weapon has been dropped now into this area. So Odysseus is now fighting shield guys, spear guys. A couple of guys have swords.
Yep.
He hasn't been able to use his bow in a while. I think the most he's gotten out of it is that he's beaten people with
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
At one point. Yeah, by now he's been shot and stabbed several times. There are multiple weapons hanging out of his body.
Yep.
He's had to grab the arrows and just like start jabbing people with the arrows. Yes,
Yep.
he's gotten several kills that way.
Yep.
One dude comes at him. He literally grabs this guy and like puts him in a headlock, breaks his neck.
Yeah,
just
yeah,
has
yeah.
to keep moving. Like Odysseus is genuinely putting
He's
up
that guy,
numbers.
bro. Yeah, he's
His
that guy.
son is actually just
Whimpering
floundering upstairs,
yeah,
man.
against
It's
one guy,
brutal.
bro. But anyway, he actually his Odysseus' son actually does end up
He
killing
eventually
that guy.
does manage to kill this guy.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I forget how. How do you take him down?
Sword. I think they get into like a little fight, and then I think he
Yeah,
stabs
right.
him
They
in the
both
neck,
get a
yeah.
sword.
He like cuts his neck, but it doesn't
Yeah.
actually kill him. He gets
thought
a
he
little
did
cut
actually
on
kill
his
that
neck,
guy.
and then no.
Oh yeah, he got the small cut on his neck.
He got a small cut.
and he actually finally learns the lesson that Mentor and the blind guy are trying to teach him
You
at
have
the
to
beginning.
show. You have to show.
You have to show
and they're gonna
weakness
try to go
and,
for it.
Yeah, bait them into punishing it
Yeah.
because the problem was he was actually his execution was too clean at the beginning.
yeah.
He would either like genuinely freeze up or he would actually execute perfectly and then be countered because it was
Yeah.
too like textbook, too
Yeah.
telegraphed.
Yeah, yeah.
So when he makes this false hesitation, he baits the guy into going after him. He lands one shallow cut on the neck earlier in the fight, and then he pulls this cool maneuver where he basically like ducks under his weapon, grabs it, kind of redirects it to where it can't hurt him, and he does this cool kind of over like thrust to
Yeah.
basically slit
Yeah.
the throat.
It's clean. It was clean. I'm not gonna lie.
It's a very nice move.
But yeah.
He needs to learn more moves.
Yep. Essentially, what he learned is that you're not the fastest, you're not the strongest, but you have to
So
be
you
the
can't be the
smartest.
smartest.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Where his
essentially,
father is all three.
yeah, his father is just John Wick, bro. I'm not gonna lie. But anyway, so yeah, we cut back to Odysseus, and then Odysseus essentially just
He's finally reached
Yeah.
the end of his like gauntlet. He's
Yep.
killing the last of guys.
he's getting trapped because there's 3 guys with spears
Oh,
all
yeah,
around
yeah,
him.
actually.
Yep. But now his son has won the fight upstairs.
Yeah, so he
his son
comes
drops a
down.
sword down,
Mhm.
and he catches the sword because at that point he literally has an arrow. He's like.
Yeah,
trying to,
he's
like,
stabbing
he's
people
like
with
trying
an
to
arrow.
yeah,
Like,
he's like
improving
yeah,
it so
yeah,
bad.
he's down to his wits, but he gets a sword tossed down to him so he can actually fight back.
Catches
He
it
starts
right then
cooking
and
these
there,
guys again,
literally
and
bodies
then
these dudes.
and then he gets Robert Pattinson alone, bro. Oh good lord, bro. So tenuous, the
way
coward.
he rushes him down, and you just like it's just nothing but just abject
Yeah,
terror
yeah,
and
yeah.
attenuous.
Literally, bro.
A tenuous, man.
yeah.
He's just like he's
Yep.
scared. He tries to run
Yep.
away. He gets tackled. He's scared.
Yep.
He gets stabbed.
And
he's
at
still scared.
this point, the surviving members that are in the suitors,
Oh,
they start bowing. Like
yeah.
they're just like
over
yeah.
the course of
wanna
Odysseus
smoke
killing
anymore.
100 men, like slowly you start seeing some people just stop and they just bow their heads
Yep.
because they realize this is not a winning battle.
Exactly.
One guy is going to beat everyone
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
And by this point, the entire room except for Antinous is bowing.
Yeah, exactly. And so Tenuous gets ran down by Odysseus. He literally trips him, puts him on the ground, puts him on his back, and he's like, "Oh yeah, do you remember essentially the entire thing with Sinon?" Essentially,
Yeah, exactly.
He's like,
how
"Oh
that
yeah,
happened.
do you remember
He
how
says
like you
Sinon told me to bring this back to you and share your shame.
Yeah.
Literally takes a lot and puts it in his freaking mouth.
yeah, yeah, yeah."
And then he says, "Oh, and when you see my men in the afterlife, tell them I'm going west to give them a proper burial." And then he kills him.
Yep, he stabs her right in the stomach, man. He gave him his shame.
Yeah.
He made him know
Gave
his
him
shame.
back his shame.
Exactly. So essentially after that the fight's done. Everything's good. Odysseus goes to his wife Penelope.
Still
And-
all porcupined up.
He's got little
Like there's like a spear literally just hanging
2
out of his
arrows
stomach.
out his back and everything like
Yep.
that. He lays on her lap and she's like, "Don't die now. You can't die now." He's like, "I'm not dying. Chill."
I thought he was gonna die. I'm not gonna lie. Like
I still gotta
was
go
like,
west.
You cannot die.
Yes.
Man. But yeah, exactly. I was
Yeah,
like in my
yeah.
head, I'm like, you have to go west.
Yeah,
You can't
yeah,
leave
yeah.
this on anyone else. You have to go west.
Yeah, yeah.
And so he says, "Yeah, I'm gonna go west.
Yep.
I'm exiled now. That's okay. Meet me over here. We'll go
Yep.
west."
Exactly.
Because it kind of lives up on something that his wife was saying before the war. Because she kind of knew bad things were coming, and he was even saying like, "I may not make it back.
Yeah.
If nothing else, it would take years."
Yeah.
So she actually proposed before he went out to the war.
Because
that-
Agamemnon was trying to recruit him. Essentially, he wasn't really
Exactly.
going for that. He
yeah,
did
he
not
wasn't
want to
interested
go.
in this war, but Agamemnon was not hearing no.
Yeah, exactly. So he had to go.
Yep.
And so her proposal was that we could just run away. We can get on a boat
she
and
said
sail west.
go
Chase
west,
the sun.
chase the sun. And so he kind of pairs that back to where he's like, we'll go west, we'll chase the sun, I'll bury my men, and we'll live out our days there.
So he brought his wife with him. They went out to
Or not
the
live-
to the west.
Yeah, they did that exactly. And then Telemachus becomes king.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, very
And
nice,
that's
very
the
nice
end of the movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really cool.
It went really
Oh,
well.
And then at the last, like, in kind of to end things off, they kind of reveal exactly what it was that in that shot I keep mentioning of where Odysseus falls down on the stairs in Troy. When he looks up, he was looking at the burning Trojan horse.
Yeah, he was. Yep.
Yeah,
And that was the symbol of what he's done.
exactly.
Yep, he's your own trust between
And
men.
that's the Odyssey. I almost called
Yeah.
the movie Odysseus, but yeah. Honestly, I'm thinking
Phenomenally paced.
yeah,
phenomenally
very
shot.
just beautiful movie. If you
phenomenally
haven't seen
acted.
it, go see it. If
Great
you haven't seen it,
direction.
why are you at this part of the
Yeah,
video? You did
yeah.
it wrong.
Exactly.
Might honestly revisit this one because
I'm gonna watch it again for sure.
yeah, I'm
Absolutely.
like, especially because I want to refresh myself on that, like the myth and compare it.
Yeah,
and
yeah. I want
this-
to compare it to
yeah,
the
this
actual
may be coming
story.
back
Yeah.
to the pod
yeah.
here, especially because I like to think that we can do more in reviews and just kind of recaps. So yeah, we can dive into that because I feel like,
Yeah.
with our other reviews, we definitely did some
yeah,
more than
yeah.
recaps. We did,
What would
we
you
did
give
something
this film out of 10?
cool. Man, this one is great. In all honesty,
It's a crisp 10 for me. I don't give out 10s a lot, but this is a crisp 10. Bro, this year has been great for films.
4 out of 10. Master breed of dog. No, I'm kidding. No, this movie was genuinely amazing.
Yeah.
This is bare minimum a 9. I actually might give it a 10 myself.
Yeah.
If not for that dog.
Yeah.
The dog is gonna bother me
Man.
until if someone just tells me I'm wrong, I'm a stupid idiot, I don't know what dogs look like, then I'll
You gotta
shut
hold
up
that.
and I'll
Yeah, you
give this
gotta hold
movie a
that.
10.
Yeah.
Hey man, I don't know everything.
They'll
But-
bring you back your shame. Don't
I will, literally like I don't know, take like a dog collar, I guess,
Yeah.
and, like shove that in my mouth, I guess, and give me my shame. I don't know.
commit Sudoku. But yeah.
But yeah, that was a heck of a movie, man. Like honestly,
Yeah.
I think it's time to branch out from the superhero stuff. I think cinema is coming back. Like I was saying before.
We've got to get good films like this, though.
yeah, stuff
Like, it
like
can't be
this,
just
like
like
Long
some
Walk,
random-
like Obsession.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It can't just be anything.
Yeah.
But like I think
they've
there's
been cooking.
there's an art to storytelling
Yeah.
and movie making, and
Yes.
I'm starting
This
to see
is
it
this
now.
is one of them, man. This is one of
Yeah.
the gems, man. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie. I think we're gonna look back on this film throughout Christopher Nolan's discography. And this is gonna be one of the
I
greats.
need to go back and watch some more Christopher
Yeah.
Nolan in general.
This might, for me, I think this is his best film, and that's saying a lot.
I wouldn't say I've even seen enough of his to like say one of his is
Yeah,
the
yeah,
best. So I gotta go do my homework on
Yeah,
Christopher
yeah.
Nolan.
Well, he's got the Dark Knight trilogy.
Oh yeah,
He's
of
got
course.
Interstellar. He's got Tenet.
I haven't seen Interstellar or Tenet.
Interstellar is really good. Tenet was a little confusing for me, but that's because I watched it in theater. Robert Pattinson's also on that film, but
I sort of kind of saw.
yeah,
He's
I
in
saw it
it?
in he is. But I saw Tenet in theaters, and the way that they mixed the audio, the music was way louder than the dialogue. A lot of
Yeah.
times, there's no subtitles in the theater, so I couldn't really tell what was
Yeah,
going on.
I actually, and funny enough,
I think that was
noticed-
by design, but anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna say apparently that's actually kind of a trait with Christopher Nolan is that he does that in a lot of his movies to get that real feel.
Yeah,
like
I don't
you
like
know,
that
if you're in a real battle,
Yeah, yeah.
you can't hear every
Yeah.
word being
But
said, and I respect that. Actually,
I get it, but I kind of like it. I want to know what's happening still, so it's like anyway. But anyway, that's not here nor there. Anyway, I would okay. Another question for you:
Mhm.
Is this film better than Obsession? Now you gotta hold that. Now you gotta hold that. I think it's for
I
me. It's
feel
yes.
like
For me, it's yes.
I'm gonna say no, and here's why. I'm not gonna say Obsession is
Really?
better. I feel like these are the same, but this is what a movie like Obsession would look like with a budget that Christopher Nolan can get his hands on. You know?
I don't think Obsession is telling a story this grand.
Oh, absolutely not. But
And
I don't think that
I think
really.
nailing,
I don't think that
nailing
says
a
much about the
story
quality.
with this much breadth is more impressive than nailing kind of a microcosm that is Obsession.
See, that's what I would feel, but with it being a microcosm, I feel like there's so much nuance in that microcosm, and there's so many really subtle little details in Obsession. Like,
But there's more ways to mess up an Obsession than there is to mess up there's more ways to mess up an Odyssey than there is to mess up
you
Obsession.
think so?
Yes,
I think
any
it's-
one of those, any one of those scenes in Obsession, in Odyssey. Sorry, I keep getting this messed up. Any one of those scenes in the
movies.
Odyssey, you mess that up, and it really, really affects the whole narrative. You know what I mean?
See, so here's how I put it, right?
Even if they tell it in like chronological order, it's weaker.
Oh yeah. Now,
You know what I
if this
mean?
was told in chronological order, it would be a far weaker movie.
That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
So it's like the way that it was cut up, the way that it was directed, the way that it was shot.
Feat,
like
the
yeah,
kind of non-linear storytelling. Because,
Yeah.
like I said, I'm
the
not even a fan
visuals
of, it,
of
and
this
it's just hard to
film.
do.
There's so many
The
more
visuals are great.
aspects of this film, even with the bigger budget. I just think it's more impressive getting the Odyssey right. You know what I mean?
It is definitely impressive, but my kind of counterpoint would just be Odyssey has one meaning, right?
Okay.
You rewatch Odyssey, you just kind of you learn the things you were supposed to learn on the first viewing.
I
sooner.
don't think so. I think the characters are way more complex in the Odyssey, and you have to get them right, and it
You
takes way
think
more effort
so?
to get
See,
those characters
I think
right.
Odyssey
No,
has way
whoa.
more, or not Odyssey. I think Obsession has more complex stuff going on because I feel like if you look at all the main
Okay.
characters' actions,
I'm gonna hear you out.
like look at the discussion we already had on Obsession. I
Okay.
feel like there's so many ways to interpret every little thing. Like even simple lines, like the "I can't be Nikki, I can
Yeah.
be Nikki" debate. Like,
Yeah.
is it an admission of defeat? Is it just her first kind of violent outburst?
Uh-huh.
Like, or just all of Bear's lines, which I really think that's actually kind of like Bear himself actually is one of those cases because so many people managed to misunderstand him. Like,
I think
I think
okay, yeah, I'm gonna let you
I
go.
think Odyssey, I don't know. I think it's like I think there's like maybe layer 1, 2 of understanding it, but Obsession, it's got layers, and then there's like alternative meanings behind each thing. Where Odyssey, to me, it's just like, no, like, yeah, that's what that means. Like, what else could "we are the men of the sea" mean? What else could, like looking at the horse mean?
Yeah.
Where Obsession, like, there's so many different kind of possible meanings. Not to mention, there's so many more hypotheticals that can be raised by Obsession.
Yeah.
It kind of makes you think on yourself. Where like
I-
none of us have incited Trojan Wars.
Well, no, but I think it tells you a lot about human nature and how fragile the
Oh,
trust
absolutely.
between men is, and the whole idea behind the law of Zeus. Like I think okay,
The
think
Law of Zeus is genuinely like that's an amazing storytelling device.
Yes.
I'm actually curious if that's like a real kind of thing in Greek culture because it's actually used for many things and to great effect.
Yeah, yeah. I
Because
think
on the
so.
one hand, I almost thought like it was gonna be like this vague catch-all for just okay, it's just good rules, but
Yeah.
it's like no, it actually really fits each kind of instance in which
Yeah.
it comes up, even though they're different.
I honestly think that if you rewatch the Odyssey, I think you get more. I think I encourage you to rewatch it. I think
Oh,
the
yeah, I'm
Odyssey
definitely gonna.
is a more deep film than what you think it is. Because look at Agamemnon as a character, just
Yep.
as a character, right?
Uh-huh.
He's a small guy. He's not a big guy, but he wears that giant armor because he sees himself as more of a symbol than anything.
Oh,
His helmet
absolutely.
is way massively oversized.
Oh, yeah.
All his armor is he doesn't really fight as much. He kind of just walks through the battle.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
He's
the
a
way,
symbol, especially
Yes.
because like for this massive dude,
Yes.
like I said, I thought, oh, he's gonna somehow twist this and be the
And he's
villain, or
fully
like
committed. I think of Agamemnon as like almost like he kind of struggles with the same character flaws as like Batman. It's not even shown in the film at all, but you can tell that he sees himself as the warrior more than he sees himself as the man.
Oh,
because in the way that he thought when he would go to war, right?
Yeah.
He was very committed. He sacrificed his own daughter
Oh,
to make
yeah.
sure that this war goes well. He saw himself as a war hero when he came back, and he was betrayed by his own wife at the end. Like he
which is
can't-
kind of like a twist on like that same
Exactly.
kind of persona he's got. You didn't go out some grandiose
Yes.
hero's death.
Yes.
You didn't get this welcome.
Yes.
You were killed by your wife because
Yes.
you were a bad husband.
Exactly. And it's like he completely threw out the man Agamemnon. He
Oh, yeah.
he put on the warrior Agamemnon. And when he came back home, he didn't realize that his people didn't see
They
him
didn't
that way.
want that, yeah.
Exactly. They didn't want that. And his wife didn't want that. And so it's like, and he also didn't realize what neglecting your people for that long would look like. Even
Oh,
if
yeah.
you won a war for them, it doesn't matter, right?
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's like just that character in itself has so much, and he's not even on screen very much. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, he's
It's like
not.
there's just so much in that character on top of John Bernthal's character, who started this war of a woman, and then he won the war, and he
And
got the
now
woman,
he's-
and now he's miserable.
Yeah, I was gonna say exactly. It's like so many of these guys, like not only are they kind of callous,
Yeah,
but,
yeah, yeah.
well, except for
Odysseus.
Odysseus,
Yeah, yeah.
he's actually pretty cool. But
Yeah, yeah.
it's like, so many of these guys, they kind of lose the purpose of
Yes,
what they're doing.
yes, exactly. But even in Odysseus, he enabled this war to
Exactly,
happen.
and it's like
he
he's
was
not faultless
yes,
either.
exactly.
Yeah.
The only reason that Troy was successful is because of his idea, and he
Exactly.
did it in a way that he wasn't
and
proud
for
of.
such an honorable
And
man
it goes
to
away.
be the one who engineers breaking the fundamental law.
It's completely counterintuitive to
who
his
he
way
even
of life.
is. Mm-hmm.
Exactly, who he is. Exactly. And so to win this war, he had to essentially step outside of himself, essentially break all of his morals to win this war.
Oh, yeah.
And not all he wants to do is just go home. He just wants to go home. But then you realize that he doesn't actually want to go home. You know what I mean? Like he actually doesn't
'Cause
want
he
to go.
doesn't
He
think
doesn't want
he
to face
even-
that.
yeah.
You know what I mean? He doesn't want to face the consequences of his actions.
A world
All of
post
this. Do you remember when he was talking to the witch? The witch asked him, "Is this all happenstance or is this consequence?" And he said, "Consequence. All of this I see as consequence." He understands that he's dealing with the consequences of his actions right now. The gods are punishing him, and he doesn't. He understands it, but he's
rebels.
saying that
He
he
still-
doesn't understand
exactly,
it.
because
No, his motto is, "Oh, the God's speaking ways you don't understand." He completely understands.
He
it.
knows what's happening.
Integrally, he understands it, but he keeps saying, "Oh, he's like trying to neglect what
He
the
thinks
gods
he
are
can
telling
deny,
him."
he thinks he can
Exactly,
resist,
exactly,
Because,
exactly.
like we established, he thinks his whole life is in his
Yes.
control because up till
Yes.
now it mostly
Yes,
has been.
yeah,
But
exactly.
it's not.
Yeah, even his son believes that he's ready to be king. The wife obviously knows that. Penelope obviously knows that he's not ready. Yes, but he wants to prove himself to his mom.
Honestly,
he
I
wants
would
to prove
say
that he's
even
ready
after
to
this,
be
he's still
king.
not.
No, I don't think he is either. But the thing is, like, he just his son is kind of dealing with like imposter syndrome.
Oh,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
definitely.
And it's like it's in a way that he feels obligated to go find his dad. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
He's like
exactly.
he knows he's out there
Because it's
somewhere.
like
I'm
because
just
he
gonna
can't
find
be
him.
the guy,
Yes,
he has
exactly.
to bring us the
yes,
guy. At
exactly,
least.
exactly. Yes. So it's like there's so many things going on with all of these different characters, and even like how cowardly Robert Pattinson's character was portrayed. You know what I
man.
mean? And even at the end, like he kind of walks around like he's like the guy, but when
But
push comes
whenever
to
it
shove,
comes
he's
down
hiding
to it-
behind it. He's the guy behind the pillar making call outs. You know what I mean?
Like I kid you not, guys.
Exactly.
That final fight was insane. He actually
Yeah.
has one entire move in the whole fight, and it's running away. Like he doesn't
Yeah,
try
yeah, yes,
throwing something.
yes,
He's just hiding behind
yes,
that pillar.
yes.
Every time a weapon's dropped, he's get out.
Yeah,
get that.
exactly.
Kill
exactly.
him.
And it's
Like,
crazy
Jesus.
because the scrawniest guy, remember the scrawniest kid, Sinan, was
Yep.
the one that actually made
Was
the
the one who
sacrificial
stepped up.
play
Yeah.
that actually made it possible. Sinan's the only reason that Troy worked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
The Trojan
Sinan
War
is.
would not have worked without Sinan essentially explaining to them that this is a gift and you should bring it into your little place or whatever. If Sinan doesn't, essentially
Do
do
that,
his
yeah.
part and die the bravest one, because he even tells Odysseus in Hades that he would have died for him. Even if you would have told me, I would have died for you. Even if you would have told me the plan, I still would have gone along with it. That you didn't have to lie to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He essentially says that. Sinan was the
really was down
bravest,
for the
even though he was
cause.
the smallest. You know what I mean? And it's
Mhm.
like, and obviously Robert Pattinson's character, I keep forgetting his name, but
And tenuous.
yeah. He was the biggest kid, and he was he was the weakest. He was the mentally the weakest.
Yeah.
And that grew with him as well. So it's like all these characters have so much going on that's not even said in the film.
Oh,
I feel like
absolutely.
there's so much that you can draw from a second watch, a third watch, a fourth watch. I think that getting these characters right,
Mm-hmm.
getting this story right, the breadth of the story, and getting the pacing right on top
Oh,
of
yeah.
that, and filming this, it's such a bigger and more impressive feat, I think, than Obsession. I think they're both great movies, but I think that the Odyssey is a better
Yeah,
film.
I will say
I
feel like there is more ways you could have. I don't know how to put it. I feel like there's more ways you could have gone wrong with making Obsession or not Obsession,
The
making
Odyssey,
Odyssey
yeah.
a worse movie
Yeah.
as opposed to Obsession. But just like I don't know how to put it. Odyssey and obviously in Odyssey every choice is like very intentional. Everything that is done here is very
Yeah.
intentional. But like Obsession, it's almost like it feels kind of like I don't know. This is gonna sound so out of left, but it reminds me of Nier Automata in the sense that like every detail, and I mean every little detail, can be like extrapolated into something. Like
Okay.
I feel yes, there's absolutely stuff. I feel like in Odyssey there's more stuff to notice after the
Uh-huh.
fact, but in Obsession there's stuff to discuss.
Okay.
Like there's I don't know. I feel like Obsession opens up dialogues where Odyssey. It's something you can definitely review and understand and learn more about, but like once you found the answer, you found the answer.
Okay.
Where, like,
I think we have to agree to
Yeah.
disagree on that one, but I mean, your take's
I don't know.
valid.
I think it's because definitely Odyssey is definitely on a grander scale, and I will say just like as far as the work of, like the hard work of the cinematography.
Yes.
Like that's that's a bigger deal. But then it's like on the same token, like with such a smaller budget, for Obsession to pull off what it does is kind of crazy.
I think Obsession is kind of one.
I think I think really the difference is I honestly do feel like they're more or less equal, just they go for different things. I think it's just Obsession is like we kind of like you were saying, it's just a microcosm, really personal
Yeah.
kind of character kind of character based thing where it's like Odyssey is this more epic grand scale.
Yes, exactly.
with,
It's
like,
an epic. It's
societal
literally an epic.
implications.
Yeah.
It is in fact an epic.
Yeah, exactly. So I see what you're saying. Yeah, but
I'm gonna rewatch the crap out of both movies.
Yeah, exactly, dude. I think that Christopher Nolan after this is getting a blank check for whatever he wants. I mean,
Yeah.
he could ask for $500 million to make a Teletubbies film. He's getting it. He's getting it, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. He's getting it.
I would watch Christopher
Like-
Nolan Teletubbies just because I'm curious what the heck would make him want that IP.
This
What are you
film
gonna
was a
do?
blank check. This film was a blank check.
Oh, yeah.
The star-studded cast. I mean, the budget was ginormous, and he's making that money back. My God, he's making that money back.
absolutely.
You know what I mean? So it's like, dude, Christopher Nolan can do whatever he wants now.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a feat.
at this point, it's like Feige at peak Marvel. Like he just gets whatever he wants, and it's just what it is. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
pretty
So
much.
I'm excited to
Trust that guy's
see
word.
what his next film is going to be. It's 3 years out. He's confirmed that it's at least 3 years out. So he makes a film every 3 years. pretty
Oh
much.
yeah.
Um,
He takes his time to cook.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm not mad at that. I'm happy
I'm not
with
mad
whatever
at it
he
at all.
cooks. I'll be there for it. I'm not gonna lie. I am now a Christopher Nolan fan. I didn't really see myself as a Christopher Nolan fan prior to this. This film has completely turned me
I
out.
think
I'm
I
not
might
gonna lie.
also. Yeah, I might also be.
Yeah,
starting to
I'm a
become
Nolan
one
fan.
of those.
I'm sorry. This film was
I
great.
gotta start watching more.
Yeah.
Variety of stuff.
Yeah, even down to like the costume
Gotta get
design,
into
man.
cinema.
It's just perfect.
Oh man, and the costume
Man,
design was genuinely.
They
amazing,
went with
actually.
such a good like vibe, man. Like I'm not gonna lie.
I
These-
love the way that
yeah.
everything in that movie looked.
Yeah, it looked great. But anyway, yeah, that's our take on the Odyssey. That's the review.
Mhm.
We will catch you guys on the next pod. It'll come soon.
Be careful
worry.
what gods you make angry.
Catch you later.